Hey, welcome everybody to the 4K Lowdown presents Hi-5. This is episode 2. My guest at this time is Nate from Nateflixreviews. Nate, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. That intro you undersold it. It was very good, and that music was pretty awesome. So I enjoyed it. I was jamming out. It was a good time. I'm happy
Uh,
to be here.
yeah, I jam out to that too. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just kind of learning the software package that goes with that, and it's one of those. The music is not copyrighted, so yay.
Hey, pretty
Um,
good.
so we got already some people on the chat. Robert, thank you for joining us.
My man
Rev
Rob,
Rev 4K is on.
Rev, my other man. What's up, guys?
And then this is one of my regulars is Adoji. Thanks for jumping in.
Adoji, what's up?
I appreciate you listening. You don't have to chat. I don't want you to get in trouble. So totally fine. Um, so so Nate, basically, what we're gonna do, and we talked about it before the show. So
Mhm.
so everybody knows is I had you pick 5 of your favorite movies, and Jay Manley just showed up. Jay, thanks for joining us.
Jay, what's up?
Um, So, as I was saying, had you pick 5 of your favorite movies, and I know it's just like me, it's really hard to pick five like absolute favorites,
Yes.
but what you picked are some of my favorites. So it's like some really good mainstream stuff
Yeah.
that I think everybody has seen, most everybody has seen,
Hopefully.
and can like appreciate what we're doing with the scoring. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So before we get started, I want you to go ahead and plug your shows, plug your channels, plug everything you got. Go.
Yeah. So obviously, Nate, my Instagram, Nateflixreviews. Um, it's yep, you can follow me there. I do post I post stuff I pick up. I post reviews. I do actually write reviews. Usually like I'll write them on Letterbox and post them there. Not too crazy long. You can read it in like 30 seconds. And you can also catch me over on Levels of Geeks. Monday nights, we of course that's not Levels of Geeks. I'm a liar. It's Geeks and Flicks now. It's Geeks and Flicks. That's our old name. I
I was say
apologize.
I don't
Geeks
I
and
don't have
Flicks.
loads of geeks.
That's not us. No, it's not us. If you look for them, you will find not us.
Yes,
Geeks and
you.
Flicks. Monday nights, we go live. Me and Alex, my buddy, we talk. Oh my gosh, we have like all these new shows. We got What the Hall, which is a collection show.
Hmm.
We have top 5 shows. We have This or That, where we compare 2 movies in a subcategory. Alex is here. Hayden, what's up, Alex?
Yeah,
And then
throwing
um,
shade. Good job, Alex.
yeah. And then of course we just do all kind of topics, and off of that, we also have our Action Movie Guys podcast. So those we don't record live. We those are like it is a podcast. Um, you can catch that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere you get podcasts. And we now have a website. So if you go to geeksandflix.com, you can check out all our previous work. You can get some merch, get a T-shirt, get a cell phone case, whatever you want to do. That's pretty much all our channels and where you can find us. And we do really, really, really high quality, funny content, right? Because everyone likes to laugh, and we all like movies. So that's pretty much where you can find me.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you guys' content. I've been a fan of your show for a while. And I'm actually going to be on your What the Hall episode on May
Yeah,
23rd, which I'm honored. We're going to talk about our favorite slipcovers.
yeah.
So I'm
Top 6.
top six. I've
Top
got them.
6. Yeah.
I'm ready. I got some curveballs for you guys. So I
Okay.
hope you
Very
guys are
nice.
ready. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a blast.
Yep.
But today what we're going to do is we're going to take these 5 movies that you picked out and we're going to score them in the lowdown format. We're going to talk about them, see what we like, what we didn't like, and kind of give see if we can give like an accurate score out of 100. So this is the maximum score because we got 10 aspects of the movie that we want, and it's based on the genre and the type. And then we total them up, score each one on 1 to 10, total them up. So the best out of 100 is the total score, kind of like American
Okay.
Bandstand. So it's,
Sure.
oh, I give it a 72, but I can't dance to it. Um,
Got it.
so the first 5 things are we're going to go through each one as we go through, but The first five aspects is kind of what I want from every movie that I watch, and that is a good cast, acting, a good plot line, a great ending, and a good story. And that's beginning to end, the whole shebang. I want a great story from start to finish. I want closure. I want to be entertained
Yep.
as much as educated. Um, and then the other five are based on the genre and the type of movie that they are. So that varies based on the movies that you gave me.
Mhm.
So, which one do you want to start out with? Pick one of any five. Any of the
Oh
five.
Lord, yeah. So I like you said at the top, I picked very uh commercial movies, right? These are like, but they're the ones I love. I didn't go obscure. We're not talking about like independent films here. These are like big movies. Let's go. You know what? Let's go in release order.
Okay.
Oldest, I believe it should be Halloween. If that's the case, out of the movies I picked, Halloween should be the one that came out first.
Yes.
Start with some
By
horror.
by 1 year, I think you are right.
Yeah.
Halloween is coming out first, so let's throw that poster up. Um, and yeah, I love this. One of my favorite slashers of all time. Um, so now it was interesting because last week we had Turner Fan 77.
Mhm.
It was a great show, and he also picked Halloween.
Oh, okay.
So I'm interested to see how you score Halloween versus how he scored it.
Sure.
So starting with the cast,
Yes.
basically how you score the cast is if you recognize the person by name and face. So if
Mhm.
you look at the picture and you go, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Yeah.
I know exactly who that is. The movie gets 2 points. If you recognize the actor but you don't know his name, like you're like, oh, I know that guy. He was in this movie, or I saw him somewhere, but I can't remember his name. They get 1 point. And
Okay.
then if the movie came out like I'm not gonna date you, but if the movie came out before you were born or when you were young, you can give it an automatic 4 because you don't know a lot of the actors because they were like way back. So like this is 78,
Yeah.
and I
Definitely
was eight
before I was
years
born.
yeah I was 8 years old. So
Okay.
so you can give it an automatic 4, and then you can add based on who you know.
Okay. So I was -9 when this came out. So I guess
Woo!
we'll give it we'll give it the automatic 4 then. I guess. Okay. Of course. As far as this movie is concerned, Jamie Lee Curtis. So I know her. Of course, Donald Pleasance.
Yep.
He's a known. Jay Souls, of course, she was in a lot of other '70s movies.
Okay.
So I know her. Everyone else, I do not know by name. I do
Okay.
not know. I don't remember them from anything but Halloween. And then, of course, like the kids that grew up. One of the girls, I forget her name. She was just in like Real Housewives and stuff, and she was in Halloween Kills. I don't remember her name, but I didn't know her at the time, so we're gonna give her 0 points for her. But I know
Okay.
those three by name.
Okay. Those are by name. That's in PJ Souls. That one kind of surprised me. I wouldn't have picked that one out. Um. So if we're going by that, that puts it at a 10. If we start with a 4,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I mean,
So
look, at the end of the day, I guess, when you're thinking cast, your scoring system makes sense as far as like, I know these actors, they were in things. And if you're a
yeah,
movie fan and you've seen them in other
yeah.
things,
Now the other
yeah,
thing, since you know all these guys, and this could be this is also kind of an interesting thing because you know these characters now,
mhm,
but when you first watched the movie,
yeah.
did you know these characters? Did you know these actors?
So when I first saw Halloween,
Hmm.
at that time, the only actress I would have known was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right, and
Um,
that was where I was like,
yeah,
okay, I'm going to give it a 4, and then I add 2 points because I knew Jamie Lee Curtis,
yeah,
and that was kind of where mine ended
yeah,
because I was like Donald Pleasance. I know him now, but I knew
sure,
him from Halloween. He was
gotcha,
where I was like now I was like okay,
yeah.
so that kind of changes things. If you go by that, then you're
Mhm.
at a 6.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would have seen this movie when I was like 11 or 10 or a kid, but I
Right.
had seen other, I've seen Jamie Lee Curtis
Right.
in like True Lies when I was a kid, so I knew her. But yeah, okay, in that regard, if it's going by when I first saw it, then yeah, it would just be it would just be one person.
Okay. So, all right. So we got a 4. So now you can also, because you know the people now, you can take
Mhm.
the 4 off, and it's making it complicated. So let's just go 6.
Okay.
But you can, so like if you know those 3 guys, I mean, it's still 6 points.
Yeah.
If you take the 4 out and you go, okay, I know these guys now, so
Yeah.
I can do the score based on that. Either
That's
way you
fair.
go, you're still at 6.
Yep.
Okay, now the second thing is the acting, and this is kind of this can be a biased opinion. It's not necessarily quality, but it's your feel on the quality of the acting in the movie on a scale of 1 to 10. This is
Mm.
also based on the cast.
Yeah.
So if you don't recognize the cast, but they did a good job, you might give them a high acting score because
Sure.
it was better than you expected. But if it's a stellar cast, like if you've got Ocean's 11 that you
Mm.
brought up, but you're like, the acting wasn't as good for the cast that it had. I was expecting more out of it. You
Yeah.
might you might throw down the acting job a little bit because you wanted more out of it. So, what do you
Sure.
think? And something like this, because it was so long ago,
Yeah.
don't recognize the cast. Um, what do you think about the acting? Do you think the acting was really good I mean, for the type of movie that it
Yeah.
is, for the cast
No.
that you knew?
No, so
No?
it's just fine. Listen,
It,
listen. Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, is very good.
yeah,
Donald Pleasance, I think, is very good in this film.
yeah,
I would stop short of calling anyone else really good in this movie. Uh, I
yeah.
can't do it.
I,
This is
I,
a low budget slasher from the 70s. It's a horror film. I mean, horror films in general are not the beacon of acting.
exactly. They're not Oscar. I mean, Exorcist
Exorcist,
notwithstanding.
yeah,
Um,
Hereditary, something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. You're like, okay, but
Yeah. But
yeah,
like a less than $1 million budget slasher from the 70s, it's not amazing acting. Now, the lead, what's important is that the two main leads are really good, though. So
correct.
I feel like that should be weighted a bit. Honestly, for me, on the whole, I'd probably give the acting, if I'm being fair, maybe like a 7.
Okay.
I think they're good enough. And of course, Michael Myers, the shape, what's his name? Nick Castle, I think, is the name of the guy in the
Of the
suit.
guy who had the William Shatner mask
Great
on.
mannerisms, great job. It's not a speaking role, but he'll get the
Right.
extra 1 point. Otherwise, it would have been a 6.
Okay.
But I'll give him the extra 1.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you got the basic plot of the movie is the next thing. So this is like, if you read the back of the box without knowing who was in it,
Hmm.
how likely would you be to watch the movie in this case, maybe rent it
Yeah.
or buy it or something like that? And so I'm just going to read it. This is from IMDb.
Okay.
15 years after, hey, go away. The ad just popped up. 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween night, 1963, Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois, to kill again.
Ooh, I love it. I
Dun
mean,
dun
this is
dun.
this is right up my alley. This is
Right?
something I want to
This is
watch.
I'm like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in. Right?
Yeah.
Here,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
here's my money.
Yeah. I mean, as a horror fan, it's simple. It's not too much. I've never seen this, but you're telling me a guy murdered his sister when he was younger and he's coming back to kill more people. It's simple. It's beautiful. It's a honestly that and whoever wrote that did a really good job with that plot description.
Mhm.
Um the basic what is this, story or plot? This is plot, right?
This is plot.
Yeah,
So this,
I think it's a 10. It's a
okay.
10.
Yeah.
Sometimes simple is better.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not too much.
Less is
Perfect.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Totally.
perfect.
Okay. So the next thing is the ending of the movie.
Okay.
So what do you think of the ending? How the movie ended?
I love the ending of this movie.
Right?
I absolutely love the ending of this movie. I think it's ambiguous enough to have people like wanting more.
Right?
But it also, if they never made a sequel, it's still perfect as it is. Closure is like you don't always need to know exactly what happened for a movie to have a perfect ending. Now, knowing what we know now that sequels came out, it's even better. But even if they didn't, I think it's a perfect ending. At that point, the tension has been ratcheted up, and Loomis showing up and shooting him, and yeah, I think it's flawless personally as far as an ending. So I'm gonna give that a 10 too.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So now, little hi to Joe Joker 926. Thank you for
What's up,
joining
Joe? What's
us.
up, man? How you been?
I I gotta I gotta keep an eye on. I shot him 6 times. Yeah, right. It's like, um, no, Alex.
He knows.
He knows. Is this the
I
camp
mean, he
one?
doesn't like horror, but
Is
and
is
he
this
knows
the one with the ball that floats around the
this
funeral
is the
home?
burned up man
Is
in the
this
dreams.
the one in the sweater
Yeah.
that does the stuff? Is this the tall man with the hat
That does the stuff. I
that
like that.
does the stuff?
Yeah.
God is in his holy temple.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so now we talk about the story. So the story, and you think of the plot as the seed of the movie.
Okay.
The story is the full tree, the whole
Sure.
thing. So beginning, middle, and end. How did the flow work? Did it give you what you wanted? Did it answer all the questions that you had?
Yeah.
It didn't leave anything out for you.
Mhm.
What do you think of the story?
Very, very strong. I think this story is for a slasher film. It is really, really strong. You have a lead character that you're interested in following. That's very important. You have Dr. Loomis, a role of he's fun. He's kind of adds a little bit of fun to the whole proceedings of trying to catch Michael. Is it flawless? I don't think so. I think some of the stuff, especially with like the way Michael escapes, always got me like, this is even when I was a kid, I was like, what are they doing? These
It's
guys just
like,
walking
yeah,
around in the
right,
middle of the grass and they could just leave whenever they want. It's kind of
right.
weird.
Hey, David,
Um,
welcome to the show.
David, what's up? So yeah, that uh you know, that
Okay,
always kind of irked me a little bit. Do
yeah,
you do point fives? Are we allowed to do point fives as far as
I
scores?
do just round
Round
numbers. Yeah,
a 9. I give it
9.
a 9.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. Okay, so now we're talking genre. So
Yes.
what do we want from the horror genre? And what I gave to you, so there's 3 for the horror genre, and then we've got 2 for a slasher, which is the type of movie that it is.
Okay.
So first of all, the scares. How scary was the film on a scale of 1 to 10? What did you
I
think
mean,
about? And
for me,
I'm gonna throw
yeah,
a picture up because I saw this pretty young,
yeah.
but that scene
Yeah.
scared the crap out of me. I was like, dude, he's just standing there staring, stuck him on the wall, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's level. It's like
Yeah.
he's a painting on the wall, and I was, I loved it. I thought it was like super scary. But what did you think?
This is like probably my favorite horror film of all time.
There you go.
And I enjoy horror and I like it. I like when what I find scary. And I think one this is a truly scary movie. First of all, it's realistic enough where like it can happen. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe you can't stick someone on a wall with just a knife, but the premise of a man coming somewhere and going around killing people is very real. You know what I mean?
Very, yeah, it can happen and
Right. It's not like
has
a
happened.
werewolf.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So that adds to the scariness of it. But I think the suspense, the way it's shot is very scary. Even just the brief glimpses, right? Like you get teased throughout. She's walking
yeah,
down the sidewalk, he's standing behind the bush, and then he
yeah.
goes away. That's scary.
Yeah,
It's coming up.
he's got that Pepe Le Pew thing where he's just kind of walking really
Yeah.
casual, but he stays with you the whole time.
Yes. The scene
And
where she's looking out the window and he's coming across the street,
yeah,
like always scared me or she's outside, I think, and
yeah,
he's coming across. Always
yeah.
scared me a lot when I was a kid.
It's always like I like the ones where you see them walking towards you, and then Michael's like in the
Yeah.
background, and you just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
But
Um
I got to give it to the musical score in this too. The
mhm.
music in
Oh,
this
it adds
added
a
to the
lot.
scare,
Yeah.
especially that theme. To
Classic.
really, really simple theme, but if you hear it, you know something's about to happen. Something's going
It,
down.
it is, if not the most iconic horror score, top 3. But
Yeah,
it's one,
top 3 for
in my
sure.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is to me, it's always been, I know when I first watched it, I was absolutely terrified. I couldn't sleep.
Hmm.
This is the stuff that would give me nightmares over like demons and stuff like that personally. I'm gonna give it a 10.
Sweet.
I'm not going to disrespect it. It is a scary movie. Now, would people modern audiences who are used to modern movies find it as scary? No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. But I didn't see it. I saw it when I was younger, and a lot of this other stuff didn't exist yet. So yeah,
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, and my scariest movie of all time is The Exorcist, and
Yes.
I feel the same way. Every time I still put that in, and I'm like, "Nyeh," um, because it freaks me out. It scares me, especially with the director's cut with her crab walking down the stairs. I was floored.
It's scary.
And
Yeah.
but yeah, people, it's dated now to where people watch it now and they're like, "Oh, I just laughed through that movie." And I'm like, "Okay, you can laugh. I'm locking my doors
Right.
afterwards."
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I totally get that. So the second thing, and this kind of goes along with the scares, but I wanted to pull this out separate, are the jump scares. And these are the ones where you turn the corner and something's like blah right at you.
Yeah.
Even the false ones. We know the ones where you're going along and the music starts getting tense, and then all of a sudden a cat jumps out of the trash can, and you're like, "Ugh!"
Yeah.
and you jump out of your skin. So those quick little startles. What did you think of those in the film, and what would you give that?
Not okay for this. Not crazy high for me. I feel
Right,
like it's not that kind of movie.
right,
It's a tension builder.
right,
And they show him a lot. It's not like he's popping out of. He does in the back seat of the car when he kills Annie, I think is the girl. When
right.
she's in the car and he comes up. That part always scared me because of the music. It's like bing, it does that
Yeah,
that music. There's maybe 2 like jump scares in this film, but even then they're like pretty modest by like
yeah.
modern jump scare standards. I would with only 2, I'm gonna give 2 points each. I'm only gonna give it a 4 for jump
Okay.
scares. I
All
don't
right.
feel like it's that kind of movie to me.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked and I don't want to put it this way, but I like the
Yeah.
body placement in
Sure.
the film
Yeah.
where he put the bodies to instill fear in Jamie Lee Curtis or whoever he was stalking at the time,
Mhm.
to where he would kill someone and then place them like right there
Yeah.
so that Jamie Lee Curtis would come out of the room, and
Yeah.
that I gave that a little bit more for the jump scare. So I gave
Okay.
that a little bit higher, but
Sure.
no, I totally get where you're going. Yeah, there were only 2 really legit bam
Right.
moments, and they were accented by the music. So it was like,
Yeah.
ha, you got the music and you got the body, like the your scene with Annie, that was perfect. That was a,
Yeah.
a great example. Now the next thing, and this is also because it's dated a little bit. We got to think back to that time, and that's the special effects
Yeah.
of the film. So
So like makeup. I'm assuming we're going
so
makeup here
so
because it's a
so
horror.
makeup,
Yeah.
blood, the gunshots, how that looked, any type of um, fire or
Mm.
explosions or anything like that. Whatever happened that would require some sort of special effect or stunt work.
Yeah.
Um,
Um. So another one where it's like it's not heavy on some of that stuff. It's
right,
fairly bloodless.
right.
The movie.
Yeah,
Um.
aside from drops and stuff, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of no spray that you
No.
get
And
from the
and
thing.
like the scene or the photo you showed, like he sticks the knife in him. I mean, that's a great visual.
That's a
Yeah, look at that.
great effect.
So I'm going to score this part because look, he's up high. He looks like he's on the wall. The knife is like, look at how it's placed. It looks really good, but there's no
Yeah,
like blood squirting out all over
and
the place.
and I'm liking the lighting in
Yeah.
here to where you can. It's dark, but you can still see everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's a good effect. I think I think as far as effects go, the mask, it's kind of like makeup. Brilliant
Yeah,
move to just paint, the William Shatner mask white.
yeah.
It's one of the most. I think it's the
It's
most
the iconic
iconic.
mask. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason, but I always think
Sorry.
Michael Myers is kind of the one.
Yeah.
So I think that should count for something. And
Absolutely.
and the budget is not there to do too much crazy stuff.
Right.
So, effects, even I think even something like the fact that they're shooting in California in like summertime and they have to make it look like fall in the middle
In
in the
Illinois.
Midwest. Yeah. They have
Yeah.
to pick up the leaves every day and put them back out. Like that is an arduous process to have to do. And you can't tell that it's not there.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
I think it's good.
Okay. I'm down.
It's not crazy over the top with a lot of that stuff, but those little things that really make it a great film, I think, I would put in that category.
Right. Hey, Turner fan, thanks for joining the show. He was my
Hey,
my first my first victim. So, and he's still alive, ladies and gentlemen. So,
great job. Did a
um,
great job.
yeah, we'll see. What does he say? I would say it's more terrifying that he's a psychopath in a mask, running around, no holds barred, killing people.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
exactly.
I totally agree with that. So, I'm sorry, you said
A
7?
7,
Yeah,
a generous 7.
yeah, it's a generous 7.
Yeah.
And this kind of and now we're kind of going into the slasher movie. So what I like from slasher movies is I look to what I call the blood work or the gore,
Mhm.
which is there's no gore really in this, but the blood work, how they quality over quantity, how did they play the blood in this movie with and I there's one particular scene that comes into mind where the drops of blood on
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis's head, as she's standing there, it's like drip drip. She looks up and
Yeah.
there's a dude hanging there.
Right.
um, so what did you think about that? How would you score that?
Okay, so I think it's good. Again, it's one of those scenarios where like the strength of the movie is not necessarily these things.
Right,
But it is, like you said, it is a slasher. It is a horror film. These are kind of typical things. I think it's good. Again, not overly gory. But I think and fairly low body count.
right.
Honestly, what does he kill, like 3 people? I think in the whole movie. Like, I mean, not counting his sister in the beginning, because that's one.
That
Which, by the way, that's probably one of the most brutal kills in the whole movie. A first
right,
person perspective
right. You have the of him looking through the mask, and
yeah,
you see the knife.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
that
one
was
alone
that
is
was
great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Yeah, that was. I mean,
So that one alone can carry it to me, because I'm like, who starts a movie this way? A
yeah,
crazy person, you know what I mean?
right.
After that, it's he strangles someone. That
Strangle
guy
someone.
gets the knife, really
He
right
he
in there.
becomes the dartboard. He's like
Yep.
right there.
And
Um,
then PJ Souls gets like strangled with a telephone cord. So I mean, it's not, but her body placement after is very creepy with the headstone on the bed and everything.
right.
So I mean, I would give it a high score in this department. I'm gonna go with an 8.
Good. Nice score. Okay.
Mostly for the opening kill, though. I mean, that
Yeah,
is like
mostly the
that's the
opening.
one.
Yeah, I agree with that. The opening kill kind of set the scene where you're like, dude, nice.
And he's like
Um,
5, so it's
yeah,
like it makes it
he
even
get
scarier.
yeah, and he was like 5 or 6. So it was like,
Yeah.
dude. Okay, so the last thing is the kills, and this is kind of what I call the Jason factor. This is where you're looking at the variety, or even Freddy, the variety of kills, the way that he does it, the
Mhm.
instruments that he uses. Um, you know,
Yeah.
what did you think about the kills in this movie? And again, it's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Moderate.
yeah,
4, like I said, 2
yeah.
stabbings,
2 stabbings, choking with the phone cord.
choking with the phone cord, or 3 stabbings, right?
Three
Was it?
stabbings, counting the
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah. 3 stabbings and a strangulation.
Yeah, I was like, did he break someone's neck? And I think that might have been 2.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind of
not in
something that
1.
I think in 2 he did this
Yeah.
bit and snapped someone's neck, which was
2
cool.
is, if we were doing 2, it's like a 10. That he
Two
like
two's
kills
got a
way more
body
people.
count.
Yeah.
Two's got some kills in it. Yeah.
This one's low key. It's pretty low key. He gets shot himself. So there's
Yes.
that. There's a
6
shooting.
times,
Yep. So we get a
and then he
shooting,
disappears.
3 stabbings, and a telephone
3
cord.
stabbings and a shooting and a telephone cord.
Not
So
amazing,
no.
but
So does that put us
good.
at a 5, or are we gonna go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 5.
Let's go with a 5.
I don't think it's amazing in that regard, but it's okay. It's still scary. Oh, David McGuire says he also killed the dog off screen, though.
He
Off
killed
screen.
yeah, I don't think he killed the dog on screen,
I
but
didn't
you
see
heard
it.
the dog yelp, and
Yep. I don't know what he did
yeah,
to him.
yeah, that
Now,
might have
if they
been
showed that would get it.
that
Everyone
would
would be up in
that'd
arms.
be an instant 7. Yeah, people
Yeah,
would be mad about that. You can kill people, but don't kill animals.
exactly.
Then you get mad.
Mhm. That was like when I went to see Halloween, the 28. Was it? It was Halloween 2018 when he goes in the house where the baby is crying, and
Yeah,
my cousin is like, if he kills the baby, I'm leaving. Like, I'm gonna get up and leave.
I'm gonna get up and walk out. Yeah.
Like that. You could kill all the adults you want. If that baby gets murdered, and it's the same with dogs. I feel like you just babies and dogs don't touch them.
Yeah. Yeah. Now there's a movie called Untraceable with Diane Lane, and it's kind of a serial killer type movie.
Yeah.
And I know in the beginning, because he's kind of testing out how he's killing and stuff, and he tests it out on a kitten.
Oh, that's probably.
And nothing else made me mad in that movie, but that scene made me mad.
Just you've crossed the line.
How dare you cross the line? You killed a kitten. That's not fair.
Yeah.
All right, so I totaled your score up for Halloween, and you gave it a 76 out of 100.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Very few weaknesses.
Right. For such an old movie, it still holds up.
Yes, I would.
And so yeah, I would watch this every day and twice on Sunday. It's so good. All right, let's move on.
Let's keep going. Same order.
Same order.
Let's go. Alien should be next.
We're going Alien. You are correct, sir. At 1979 is when that one came out.
Yeah, I know Rev. If he's still here, he's a big time Alien fan, so I don't want to make him mad. But
so yeah, are you an Alien over Aliens person?
I am. I know. I get the arguments. I think they're almost equal, but one's horror to me and one's action.
Exactly.
And I've always dug horror slightly more. So.
Yeah, I understand. I'm an Aliens over Alien personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alien is more horror, and Aliens is more sci-fi, more of an action type. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one I did label it as a sci-fi movie.
I agree.
A sci-fi monster movie. So it's monster is the type, science fiction is the genre. So we have a couple different categories that we're going to score on this one. But we start off with the basics, and that is the cast first.
Yes.
Again, we're like watching the movie, and right away you got to go, oh, Sigourney Weaver. So, so is that the only one? Because I'm recognized a few others when I first watched the movie. Maybe not by name, but at least by face, where I was like, hey, I know that guy.
So this one's going to be interesting because unlike Halloween, I did not watch this movie till I was older. So there's a lot of movies like that I didn't see when I was a kid. Halloween I did, but Alien, I didn't watch Alien until I was like in my 20s. And at this point, I have now watched a lot of movies. So if we're going cast on this one, I mean, Sigourney Weaver, of course. Tom Skerritt, of course.
Right.
John Hurt, Ian Holm, Yaphet Kotto. I know all these people by the time I watched it.
Right.
So if we have to go with when we first saw it, it has to be a 10 because I just named 5 and it's 2 points each.
Yeah. Perfect.
Also, it's a 10 because they're all amazing. I love everyone in this movie.
Yeah. I gotta say what really, and we're gonna get to that in a second. What sets this apart is the acting in this movie.
Yeah.
Is amazing. And I mean, at least my opinion. What's your opinion on the acting, Nate? What did you think?
I agree, and this is very much a Ridley Scott. Even though it's early Ridley Scott, if you just think about that cast, that's a very Ridley Scott thing to have like multiple amazing actors all in the movie together. I think the acting is. This is in a way, it's like for what it is for a genre film, it doesn't deserve the level of talent.
Yes, in absolutely. The movie.
But it got it because Ridley Scott is just that guy. So another 10 for me.
Sure.
And Sigourney Weaver owns. She's absolutely amazing. And yeah, just she's incredible. But the whole cast, everyone does their role perfectly. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Ian Holm, I hate him in this movie, and that's how I know he did an amazing.
He did an amazing job because he's a great actor. Yeah. Totally.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the plot.
Okay, here we go. I love this. I like hearing what they say on IMDb.
Yeah, I think it's funny because you get this, and it's not necessarily what's on the back of the box, but it's still kind of cool. This is a little simple. So it says the crew of a commercial spacecraft encounter a deadly life form after investigating an unknown transmission.
Well, that's not as good as the Halloween one.
Not as good as the Halloween one.
Not as good as the Halloween one. This sounds more very B movie. It sounds like a very B movie description.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, just off the plot outlined there,
Yeah,
not
without
the
knowing
best.
who's in it.
Not without knowing who's in it, I'm thinking this is like some kind of B sci-fi movie. Probably not
Right.
amazing. Like 6,
Okay.
6, because it sounds
6.
fun, but it doesn't sound like it doesn't grab me. Like, well, I must watch this.
Yeah.
Like the Halloween one.
Doesn't grab you like Halloween does,
Yeah.
where you're like, dude, I want to see this. But
Right.
yeah, it's like, all right. So, um, all right. Now let's talk about the ending
Oh.
of Alien.
Okay.
What did you think of the ending?
So the ending, another one where the ending is, I think, perfect for the film that just, preceded it. I think, the alien, the whole, like the whole last scene where it's just Sigourney Weaver and the cat, and and then the xenomorph in like it's not is it like a skate pod like that. I think it's I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but it's one of those ones where it's like it's suspenseful, it's fantastic. She's the last one. It's just her and the cat. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Just turn the cat.
Just them two, and she's like the ultimate final girl in a sense. If we're making this like horror, because she wins fully. This is not like she accidentally lucked into whatever. So inside joke from from Rev. He calls in the video game the big alien Monica.
Okay.
Yes. So
I was say I wasn't sure where that was gonna go, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like
So,
I don't remember Monica in the movie. Maybe that was the cat.
no, it was like Jonesy or something was the cat, right? Or
Yeah.
Mr. Jones or something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the ending a 10. I don't have a problem with it. For
Nice.
me, when I look at an ending, I'm gonna say, okay, what's wrong with it, and then I'll minus. And in this case, I didn't find anything wrong with it, so 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think I really liked it.
Mhm.
Okay, now what do you think of the story?
Oof.
How the story came together, beginning, middle, and end. Did it answer all your questions? You get closure? Did you know?
Yeah, it left enough questions where I was thoroughly intrigued the whole time, but it gave me enough answers where I didn't leave confused, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's that sweet spot. While the little plot is not, the greatest ever, that, as far as like the plot line that was read, the story in this movie is amazing. It's very well thought out. It's very well written. Sci-fi can always be, in my opinion, hit or miss. It's either like this is really top shelf or this is
Yeah.
really crap.
Yeah.
And this falls in the top shelf to me.
Sure.
The storyline, I didn't have questions when you have questions when it's over, but not the kind that bug you.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't call them plot holes. I would be more like they just didn't explain
yeah,
every single little
yeah.
thing.
What happens next? That was my big question. What happens next?
Right.
What's going to happen? And I think that builds to like one of the greatest franchises that came out.
What's going to happen next is the best question you can leave an audience with, in my opinion.
Exactly.
If they're going to have one. So I'm going to give it a 10. I think there's no flaw in the storyline of Alien, in my opinion. I think it's
Nice.
fantastic.
Yeah, I was at a 10 too for the story. I think the story is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, Alex is an Aliens guy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The action is definitely tips it over for him.
He's in
Definitely
Aliens.
is.
He's in the second one. Yeah. May he rest. Bill Paxton, great actor.
I loved him.
All right. So now we're talking genre. So what we're talking with genre, and the first thing that I want from a sci-fi movie is I want good special effects.
Yes.
I'm not, normally I would say CGI. These days you want, you get all the CGI and crap. But with this 1979 movie, it was all special effects. And, I got to give it to that was the
probably freaked people out at the time.
Oh, dude,
like,
that absolutely freaked me out. I got to, and I'm going to just kind of throw this up.
Horrific.
Just
absolutely
you're like, and it was really kind of I think it's my favorite scene. I think it's everybody's favorite scene, but there's kind of a lull to where they're just like, okay, what are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden John Hurt just goes crazy and he's like flailing and stuff. And you're like, what's going on? And then, blah, and you're like, yeah, I was like, I got up, I jumped out of my chair.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
need a drink. Pause this. Pause the VCR. I'm gonna. I need to go outside for a second, collect my thoughts.
Yeah.
um, because yeah, that was absolutely frightening.
Yeah.
And the he, gosh, Ridley Scott did an amazing job
Hmm. I
with that.
agree.
Just the thought of it. Just like
Mhm.
this is what I want to do. I want to have this alien worm come out of this guy's chest.
Yeah.
Can you guys do this?
Right. Can we make this happen?
Yeah. So
So
what did you think of the special effects?
effects? Oh, 10.
Yeah.
It's like, what we're talking 1979. And
Yeah.
the fact that the movie still looks amazing now, it's
Hmm.
tangible, it's not CGI, it's practical. The design of the alien matters, it looks incredible. The chest burster, the face hugger, all of
Yeah.
it looked
The
incredible.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
amazing.
extremely well done. Even Ian Holm, like when his head gets taken off and they put it on the table and he's like still talking and stuff. That whole thing is super well done. That whole fight scene is like pretty scary, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But the design of the ship, the exterior shots when they're getting off of the ship, the eggs, like everything. It's still gorgeous today. So I got to give
Yeah.
it a 10.
Yeah. No, too. I'm totally on board with that.
Yeah.
Do you think Bill Paxton did better fighting in Aliens or in Predator 2?
Probably aliens. I mean,
Probably Aliens.
yeah,
I think his personality was similar to where he was still kind of a goober and you kind of wanted him to die, but yeah, I think he did better. He lasted longer in Aliens than he did in Predator 2. I'm
he was a
pretty
goober
sure.
in every movie he was in the 80s.
Yeah,
All of them. He was
including
absolutely,
I mean, and especially Weird Science,
yeah.
but yeah, he was
Terminator,
Terminator.
aliens,
I'm gonna
everything.
go as far True Lies. He was a goober in
Yeah,
True Lies,
all the way up to True Lies.
all
My
the way
man
up to
was
True
a goober.
Lies until Twister,
Yeah, even Near
and
Dark, he was like
he,
he
he
was such
was
a
kind of a
he was,
goober vampire.
yeah, everything
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
He
I
played
mean,
it well.
yeah, he did. He played it well. Yes,
Yeah, true. That's why they got a
that's
lot of
absolutely
good
true.
reaction.
Most of the cast did not know that the chestbuster scene was going to happen, so they get a genuine reaction
Yeah, it's the
from
best
those.
way to
And
do
you
it.
did. They were like, "Oh, crap!"
Yeah, right.
um, yeah, and a nice little quote
True
from
Lies.
from True
True Lies.
Lies. I love that movie. Um, we recently did our top 10 action movies
Okay.
on the Lowdown, and True Lies was one of mine
Yeah,
that
we
I
did it
brought
on the
in.
Action Movie Guys podcast. It was
Yeah,
great. Great movie. I
yeah.
love. They need to come out with
It's amazing.
at least a
Yeah,
Blu-ray already. Come on.
yeah. I know. Oh, give me a 4K. Oh, I would love a
I
4K of that.
do, but at
You get
minimum,
you,
can I get a
ex-
Blu-ray? Anything.
can anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gave me Last Action Hero. Give me True Lies.
How did that come out first? Exactly.
Exactly. Give me True
Wow.
Lies on 4. Give me Red Heat. I'll take Red Heat
Mm-hmm.
on 4K. That'd be fun.
Oh, they do have Red Heat
Um,
on 4K.
they do. Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
look for that.
you can get it.
I didn't know they had that. Now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Grad. My wife's not happy with you right now because I'm gonna go buy
I
that.
apologize. I'm sorry.
She's like, "What? You're gonna buy another one?" um, okay. So the next thing from sci-fi movies is I like a good pace
Yes.
of the film. So I don't like too much draggy bits and stuff like that. So what did you think of the pace of the film? Character development, the action scenes,
Yeah.
stuff like that. What did you think?
I mean, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but it's again perfect. It's a 10. This is paced exactly how it should be. It doesn't move too fast.
Yeah.
It is not trying to rush to the
I think
end.
yeah, I think my word when I was actually scoring this myself was it's deliberate.
Very, very deliberate and not slow. People think slow and deliberate are the same thing, and it's not.
No.
I was
Slow
never
is
bored. Right. I was
yeah.
never bored. I was never like, oh my gosh, something needs to happen. Like, it was telling its story and it was setting it up and it was setting it up and it was setting it up. Once the chest burster scene happens, it's
Then it's balls to
nonstop
the
from
wall
there.
after that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
holy
So,
crap. Then you're like, and I think that was my only thing was with the pace was that it did seem slower to me until it got to that point because they were deliberate, they were building to it.
yeah.
You had that level of suspense
Hmm.
that came with it, to where you're like, okay, somewhere there's a shoe that's going to drop,
Yeah,
and you don't know when it's going to happen, and happened at dinner, and that's like
exactly.
that was
Oh, we're having
beautiful.
fun. We
The
got
the
this thing
timing.
off his
Oh,
face.
we're having a
Yeah,
good time, and then pff,
right.
and then everybody just starts dying one by one, and
Yeah.
that was just as brilliant. Um, okay, I'm sorry. Were you at a 10 for pace, or were
I gave
you
it a
gonna?
10. Yeah, I don't have
Okay,
a problem. It's another one I have no problems with it.
that's cool. All right. So then the last thing about sci-fi movies is I like the technology, and I know it's 79,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be set in the future.
Yep.
So we're thinking about the technology where they have cryogenics, and they have, or I should say cryostasis, if I wanted
Yep.
to be more technical about it.
Hmm.
The computer stuff, the bells and whistles, all the technical stuff that they did. What did you think about that for that period?
I think it's very good. Again, very good. The only thing is maybe like, okay, the computer monitors, they only have what they have, so it's like with the little green letters like coming
Yeah, you
across.
still get the monochrome
Right.
CRT
But
monitors. Yeah,
they only had that. So
that
okay, that's not super futuristic though.
no,
The AI though, with the mother on the ship or whatever, like
uh-huh.
that's very advanced from the 70s.
Yeah, that was
Um,
very Hal.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So that's I think that was good. The look of the ship I think is incredible. It looks futuristic. It stuff don't even look like that now still, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's a very futuristic looking. Um, I will give it because a certain of course you just have like little things here that like light up buttons and whatever.
Yeah.
Comes with the
It's
tab.
very,
Give it
very, very Star Trek, the original series. But yeah,
yeah, but I would still give it I would give it like a solid 9. It's not a
okay,
10, but a solid 9.
nice,
Yep.
nice. Okay, so now we're talking monster. So
Mhm.
for a monster movie, I have two aspects for that type. One is, how good is the monster? How good are the effects of the monster? How scary is the monster? What are the different levels to the monster? Is it just like a killing machine? Does it have thoughts? Um, does it reproduce like crazy? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If I'm
Right.
spoiling it, I'm sorry, but if you're living under a
Should have
rock
seen this by
and you
now.
haven't seen this by now, um,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna say that,
It's 43
Mister,
years. You've had 43
if
years.
you
Watch it.
you haven't had time to watch it, go there and watch it.
Yeah.
I don't even care which one you pick, one or two. I
Sure.
care that, but pick one or two
Yeah.
and watch it, and then I think you will definitely go back and watch the other one, no
I
matter
agree.
which one you start with.
Yeah.
All right. So, what did you think of the monster here, the xenomorph? It's like,
Perfect.
I don't even know if I want to do it. I don't even
It's
want to. If it's not a 10, tell me,
it's very
because
pointless. No, it's very pointless to
it's
it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect in design. It is perfect in execution, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong. It is iconic. I think when you think of movie monsters,
mhm,
the xenomorph is on the Mount Rushmore of movie monsters, in my opinion.
absolutely.
So everything from how it comes
If
from
I
an
could give,
egg to the other
yeah,
thing to the
the
other thing,
egg, the grabber,
yeah,
the face hugger, the chest,
the little mouth in the mouth,
yeah,
amazing. A
yeah,
10. Yeah,
just yeah. It's if I could give it the acid blood, if I could give it an 11, I'd give it an 11.
yeah,
If this was Spinal Tap, it'd be an 11
yeah. We move
for
on from
sure.
this one. We don't got to spend. We
We
don't
don't
got to
we don't got to spin this.
pretend.
We don't got to talk about what we didn't like about this
Yeah,
one.
nothing.
I
I didn't like
yeah,
nothing.
and then like almost like um the slasher movies.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to call it kills. I want to call it bodies.
Yeah.
So and it's partly body count, but it's also quality of the deaths that the monster creates.
Yes.
The variety of kills. And again, I'm not sure why we're even going to debate this, but is there any
Yeah.
reason why you would give this less than a 10? Is there anything that kind of bugged you about how the bodies piled up and how everybody started dying, how the xenomorph was killing everybody? Is there
No.
anything that bugged you about it?
Nah. It's great. It's great. I mean, the very first person it kills, it burst out of their chest, and then scurries across the table, and it was just like a little baby one at that point. You know what I mean? If that's
Hmm.
what the baby one does, and really, if you even go back beyond that, even the face hugger, like that thing jumping out, latching to your face, pumping its whatever down at your throat. You know what I mean? Like horrific. And then after that, it's all just fun and games, right? I mean, you get people getting grabbed and killed and put up in the like that disgusting, like not web,
Hmm.
but it's kind of like a web. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And it's gonna reproduce more of them, and I love it. I love it. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
and I love it when you actually. And I got another angle of that.
Look at that.
That's just
It's disgusting, but I
it's
love it.
disgusting. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it.
um, but yeah, I love that movie. All
Oh,
right,
for a
so
especially because this is a sci-fi film, it's like even
yeah,
better.
yeah,
It's amazing.
totally. So 10.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
hmm
Wow,
This one's gonna be pretty high.
this is really high.
Yeah. If my math's correct, I think it's like almost a 90.
It's a 95.
Oh, 95. Even better.
Yeah. So you can totally dance to this one. This
Yeah.
is like, yeah.
Oh, this is one of the greatest movies. Like, is it in my top 10? It's not even in my top 10, to be honest.
What?
There's other movies I like more, but
Right.
this is
So
up there as far as like greatest movies ever, in my opinion.
right. And this is what we were talking about. Favorite versus best
hmm
is a totally different animal because yeah, my favorite movies of all time are nowhere near the best movies.
Sure.
I'm just like, yeah, my 5-year-old brain does not want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want I don't want that. I
Yeah.
mean, I love Alien. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I would prefer the Aliens to it.
Yes.
But I gave Aliens an 87,
There you go.
and I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you my score right now. I'll
Sure.
tell you at the end. But I'm higher
On Alien.
on Alien than I am on Aliens. I'm not as high as yours, but I'm
Sure.
higher.
Yeah.
All right, 2 down, 3 to go. What do you want to
Alright,
go to next?
Just off the top of my head, next should be The Goonies.
That should
I
be The
believe it should
Goonies.
The Goonies, right? The only
Yep.
80s movie I picked. I'm not
the
the
only-
80s guy, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I am a huge '80s movie buff, but
Yeah. Most people I
Um,
talk to are. I am not, but I like them. I like them. I like a good amount. It's
yeah,
not my decade.
but yeah, you give me Big Trouble in Little China all day long, and I am
It's
down.
a weird
for that.
movie.
It is. It's such a weird movie. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's the
Mhm.
first movie I ever bought on VHS.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it has sentimental
It
value.
has sentimental value, and
Yeah.
I was actually talking about that yesterday on the show because I was like my first Blu-ray I ever bought was Megamind, and so we scored it because we were doing animated movies,
Oh, okay.
and so Megamind was the first Blu-ray I ever bought,
Nice.
and after watching that, everything I bought after that was on Blu-ray.
The first Blu-ray I ever bought was a Danny Boyle film called Sunshine.
Oh, I love Sunshine.
Yeah.
I have it on DVD,
Yeah.
but yes,
That was
that
the
is
first Blu-ray I ever bought.
yeah, that's a killer movie. I love how that story goes.
Oh, it's amazing.
How it
Like
progresses.
that, but it's a little obscure.
It's a little
Still.
obscure, but I mean, I swear it goes from like a drama to a full-on horror movie. During the course of the film, and you get a great sci-fi. It's got some great cross-genre stuff. So, yeah, that's a good one. That's probably one of my favorite sci-fi movies.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. All right, Goonies time. So let's talk cast.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. I mean,
It's
look,
kind of like yeah,
this is a
10.
perfect blend of
yeah.
at the time awesome and then now still awesome.
Still
know what I mean?
awesome. Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
Sean Astin. Okay, he's the Goonies, in these when he's younger, and then in the 90s he's like Rudy, and then later early 2000s he's Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
he goes back down to his miniature size to play Samwise.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sean Astin, Corey Feldman, Joe Pantoliano, amazing. Josh Brolin,
Joey Panch. Yeah, Robert Davey.
Robert Davey, and Ramsey. I mean, this is a family movie.
Yeah.
But the kids are great in this, in my opinion. But the bad guys, like the villains, are all three awesome. All three
Yeah,
awesome actors.
good. And yeah, and they were goofy. They were like Home Alone goofy, and
Yes.
but at the same time they were scary to the kids, and so yeah, I loved it. So when you first watched the movie, um, who did you recognize from the cast?
So
How would you score this?
yeah, so first watching the movie, really the only this was one of like the earlier movies I would have seen when I was getting into movies.
Hmm.
So I didn't. This came out actually the same year I was born, so it didn't even. I didn't see it
Oh,
till like I was a kid, like early
okay,
'90s.
okay,
Um, but the only when I did watch it,
yeah,
I didn't know any of them. I
okay,
didn't know any of them. Zero.
zero,
Because I saw this when I was very young, so
okay,
it's impossible for me to have known any of them.
okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I was 15 when it came out,
Okay. Yeah.
and I can't. The one thing that, and I meant to look that up. The one thing that was kind of like, oh, um, you know, short round, and I was like, did Temple of Doom come out before or after Goonies?
Yeah.
And
Before.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I know I watched Goonies after Temple of Doom.
Yeah. I
And
think Temple of Doom was
Temple of
first.
Doom was first,
Yeah.
84.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Couple
so
years.
yeah, so that was and then Goonies was 85. So yeah, it was a
Oh, first
um,
wasn't the year I was born. Correction. I was 2. Well, I was -2. But I didn't see it till I was like 4.
okay. Well, yeah,
91?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but you're four. It's like, how much do
I
you
don't know
remember?
any. I don't know. I don't even
I
know what
don't
acting
know.
is. I
I
thought
don't
it was
even. I was
real.
just like watching a bunch of people. It's One-Eyed Willie, yay!
Yeah.
And
Who's this chubby kid? I don't know,
yeah, I
but I
can't.
like him.
Yeah, I like him too. So so do we go with the basic four if there's, or I mean, but yeah, now we know all these dudes.
Yeah. I feel like so it's your call on how you want to do it because if we're doing it the basic form because I didn't know anyone when I first saw it, but if you want to go like legacy and respect what they actually ended up getting, I think it should be higher. We'll go with the 4 though cuz it is your format. I didn't know any of these people
Yeah,
when when I watched the movie and
yeah.
by that criteria, I would have to just give it the 4, I guess.
Okay.
That's
Like I
fair.
said, we can also go somewhere in between. It's like
Let's
now, love these guys.
Yeah. No, you know what? We'll go with a 4, but in our hearts and minds, we know it's a 10.
We know it's a 10.
I'm okay living my life that way.
So we'll put an asterisk on that.
Yeah. Yeah. A 4 with an asterisk.
A
Yeah.
four with an asterisk. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll have a nostalgia score and then a real score.
Yes.
So that's funny. Okay, so acting. What do you think of the acting in this?
Oh, I love
I
it.
mean,
I
right?
love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Everyone's great. Everyone is perfect. Even the kids, like Mouth is
I
just Corey Feldman is hilarious in this, by the way.
yeah,
He's so funny.
yeah.
I've always loved the scene where he's taking the maid around and speaking to her in Spanish. He's translating the Spanish, but he's
Hmm.
just saying all this bad stuff with the drugs and all that stuff.
Right.
It always cracked me up. Josh Brolin as like the older
As the
brother
older brother,
who still like loves them. Like he still
he's
loves them,
still
but
like
he
he's
wants to
protecting
be
them, but
older.
he's still kind of yeah,
Yeah.
totally, yeah.
The girls are great. I like both of them.
Yeah. Love
You know,
Sean Austin in it.
Data's fun.
Yeah.
Chunk's story about the movie theater. And I threw up. I had to fake vomit, and then everybody started throwing. Like I always loved it. And then the villains again, amazing. Like scary when you're a
Yeah.
kid. They're like scary people.
Yeah.
There are some
No, I
scary
mean,
people.
yeah, Robert Davey, Joey Pants, yeah,
Yeah, amazing. So I'm
amazing.
gonna give it. I mean, I don't
I
for
mean,
the
for
type
the
of movie it
cast,
is.
we'd
It's
almost
flawless.
kind of go with a 10 to compare it to the cast because you didn't know the
Yeah.
cast.
I
But
think so.
yeah,
And also, you got to think for a family movie, everyone is executing their role perfectly, right? This is
yeah,
not like an Oscar movie,
no,
but
this is
the
kind of
acting
a
is great.
family film. Yeah, it's kind of like everybody should be able to watch it
Yep.
and enjoy it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm totally down for that. All right, let's go to the plot.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what they say about this one.
Let's
This
see what
one's kind of
IMDb
crazy.
says here.
Yeah.
A group of young misfits called the Goonies discover an ancient map and set out on an adventure to find a legendary pirate's long lost treasure.
I mean, if that doesn't sound like a great time, I don't know what does.
Right?
That's a great plot. Again, shout out to whoever wrote this one. Great
Yeah.
job. It sounds like a fun adventure that I want to go on.
Hmm.
So at that, I won't give it this one a 10, but I will give it a 9.
Okay.
I'll give it a 9.
Nice.
It's simple, but it's not like Halloween simple where it's super intriguing, but it still sounds like a ton of fun. So no.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Let's look at the ending.
Mm. So the ending, when I think of ending, I always kind of think of like whole last sequence, not like last moment, right?
Hmm.
So like this whole movie leads up to this, one-eyed Willie, and they're trying to get the treasure, and they're going down the thing that in the caves, and then they get to the pirate ship, and then the villains are there, and then the pirate ship goes out, and then they end up on the beach with it. Like it's like a big, very Spielbergy, even though it's Richard Donner film,
Yeah.
but it's very much in that vein.
Yeah.
And especially watching it when you're young, there is nothing like more satisfying than the way this movie ends. Like the kids get to stay in there,
Yeah.
they get treasure,
Yeah.
they get to stay where they don't have to leave their home. And
Yeah.
who wants to leave their home, especially when you're a kid? You grew up there, you want your friend, all the friends stay together. I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love the ending to this film. Everyone gets what they deserve. The bad guys
Yeah.
get what they deserve. The good guys get what they deserve.
Exactly.
So to
So
me, it's a 10. I don't. Yeah, there's no problem there for me.
nice.
Yep.
Okay. Let's look to the story.
Yes.
What did you think of how the story played out? Beginning,
I
middle, and
mean,
end. I mean, again, we're kind of in a similar boat there, to where it's
yeah,
like, wow, this, starts out, you get, I like the character development here because
yeah,
you get to know what each of the kids is good and bad at,
yeah.
and you kind
You,
of get to know their personalities really quick.
yeah.
I mean, right down to making Chunk do the dance in the front yard,
The truffle
and
shuffle.
the
I
truffle
mean, has
shuffle.
one of the greatest names ever. First of all,
It was, yeah, it
you hit the nail on the
it's
head.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you get to
I
know all these kids in like a 20-minute span,
hmm
maybe 15, and you get to know all their personalities. Like you know exactly how each one of them behaves in their friend group just from the first like few scenes.
hmm
To be fair, the girls maybe a little bit less development. Well, not the cheerleader girl, because you could tell she's like, wants the she's the popular kind of, the friend
right,
doesn't get much, but Martha Plimpton, the girl she plays, I forget her
right.
name right now, but and then even the villains, like their jailbreak escape at the beginning. I love the character development. I'm right there with you. I think they did a great job. I think the kids do a great job. And again, this is an adventure film. And it's a pirate, they're searching for a pirate ship in modern times, and it's scary at times. It's like Indiana Jones for 8-year-olds, pretty much at moments. You know what I mean? The thing with the music where they got to play the certain keys or else the
Yeah.
floor starts falling.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah, when they're going
Yeah.
down the slide, like, and then Sloth. Who doesn't love Sloth? I mean,
Who doesn't love
even
sloth?
yeah,
Yeah.
baby Ruth.
Hey, you
Yeah,
guys. Yeah.
it's fantastic. I'm not gonna give it a 10 because I don't think
Right.
it's like flawless, but a strong 8. I'm gonna give it a strong 8.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Goonies is technically an action adventure movie.
Mhm.
So action is the genre, adventure is the type.
Yep.
Um, so and I think this hurts it a little bit, but we've got to look to it as the whole. And the first thing for an action movie is the violence. And I'm not thinking like kills or gunfire or anything like that, but like the adventure aspect of it. They're going
Sure.
down the slide and the things that they have to do, running around, and they're climbing up, and doing stuff and going to the pirate ship. What did you think of the violence, or I'm going to say the action
Yeah.
of the film?
Yeah. So either way, you're absolutely right too. Like it hurts it, but not really. Like it hurts it in the scoring criteria, but
Yeah,
the movie's it's not a fault of
it's
it.
not meant to do that. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So there is some, there's definitely some action, not a ton.
no,
Not a ton. It's a lot of like, walking around, just trying to solve a old mystery.
yeah,
But you do get some, at the end in the finale, there's some action, kind of swashbuckling type,
yeah,
the slide.
yeah.
I will give it like I will give it like a 5. I
Okay,
mean, especially for a family film or a kids movie, on that scale, it's really good. But just on the whole, I'll give it a 5. It's not the strength of the film.
right. No, I agree with that. And then much like the sci-fi genre with action movies, I like the pace. I,
Mhm.
I want a good pace in the film. So again, not a lot of character development. I don't, no draggy bits.
Yeah.
What did you think of how the flow of the movie went? I mean, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was pleased. I was happy with it. I wasn't bored at any point. I didn't
Yeah.
have any parts where I was like, oh, come on,
Right.
do something. I was either laughing or excited or
Yeah.
interested all the way through. There was no um, yeah, there
Yeah.
was no lull. There was no dull point really
Yeah, I
that
agree. I
I
mean,
saw.
and the thing starts off running, right? Because the very first scene, you're getting them like
Yeah,
escaping from jail, and then you get the car chase, and then you get like Chunk seeing the car chase from the other place, and then running to tell his friends about the car chase that he saw that no one's gonna believe,
yeah,
and it's just like it starts off like that. It does
yeah,
slow down when you get to the middle, but it's
yeah,
not slow. Um, but
yeah.
the pacing is good.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
I'm not. I wasn't at a perfect score,
yeah.
but I gave it a pretty good score.
Me
So
neither. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think it's like the most flawlessly, you know, it could have been there's a few moments where it's like, we could, if I was even when I was a kid, it's like I don't really care about the wishing well scene personally, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
where they're kissing. I get it, it's funny, but I was just like, let's move this
yeah.
along. So even my child self did think a few times where it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
okay, let's go. Get
yeah,
back to
let's
the
move it.
pirate.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think
Okay.
it's strong, but
Yeah,
it's not perfect.
yeah. That's where I was too. All right, and special effects will be
Oh,
next.
I mean, great.
So it's
Yeah.
really good. I mean, I
Great.
love the pirate ship and it coming out. That was the whole pirate ship set is
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. The caves, all the scenes in the caves
Oh yeah,
are great. Sloth's makeup is great. That's a special effect. I mean,
yeah,
he looks incredible. He got the wiggly ear and like his eyes going the other way, and yeah, he's he looks great. Um, not mind blowing. This isn't
yeah.
like Star Wars or even Alien. You know what I mean?
Right.
But really good. I'll go 7.
Okay.
I'll go 7 because it's a lot of it is based in regular life anyway. They're outside, they're in like the restaurant, they're in their house, but
Yeah.
when it gets to the adventure parts,
Yeah.
it's really good.
When it gets to whole, they're following the treasure map and they're doing all this stuff. Then you
Yes.
start getting the
Yeah.
fantasy element
Yes.
of the
And
movie.
they're
Yeah.
really well done.
Yeah. Okay. So next for the adventure type,
Mhm.
and this is I think this really hits the mark for me is the mystery.
Mhm.
And so the mystery that entails like clues that they have to follow, um, a little bit of suspense,
Okay.
things that they have to do to get where they need to go. But it's like solving the problems along the way, more like a mental as opposed to a physical
Yeah.
solving the problems. What did you think about that? I mean, I think this is my favorite part is the way that they did it. Again, with the musical notes, that
Yeah.
really hit home for me. I like that. Um, but I hope I explained that right. But yeah, it's just
You did. No, so
the mystery
mystery
aspects of the
elements.
movie. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, look, it's again, this is a family film, a kids movie, and it has a great adventure. It has a great lore. They built up lore with One Eyed Willie, and the whole thing.
hmm
Um, it's not Earth Shatter. It's not Indiana Jones in that regard. It's not
hmm
like that much, but I just feel like it's Indiana Jones for kids in that it's just a downscaled adventure film.
yeah,
The clues with the map, with the little key, and you have to line up with the islands out there in the water, like the little mountains or whatever. Everything is really good. I will give it. I'm gonna give it another 8.
okay,
Yeah, it's strong. It's very strong.
nice,
It's not earth shattering or anything.
okay. And then the last thing for an adventure movie is the stunts, and this is not necessarily fight scenes, but the swashbuckling is part of it.
Oh yeah,
But like the slides and the pieces of the cave falling, and
yeah.
things like that, the stunt work that they did in the movie. Um,
9.
yeah,
A 9.
yeah, I'm
Especially
definitely
because it's
solid there.
kids. You know what I mean? And like the slide scene is like, as a kid watching it, it's like I wish I can do all these things. slick shoes, the teeth that shoot out, and he grabs onto the and it hooks onto the thing. It's just like all these the pirate ship scene is great. The musical note scene is great. Yeah, just a lot of good stunts, especially for a family film. I love it. So 9, not perfect though, but very
Nice. All right. Okay, so I have the scores. That's going to be interesting.
good. The scores are in.
The scores are in,
Yeah.
and we have 78
Oh,
for Goonies with an asterisk 84
yeah, that's because of that cast.
because of the cast.
Yeah, because it really, out of respect, probably should be a 10.
Yeah.
But right by the scoring, so the asterisk
I
makes sense though. Either way is a good score to me.
totally forgot to do this, but I'm going to put it up now. That was my pick for my favorite scene for the special effects and the
Yeah, like look at that.
So-
It looks big.
that
It looks,
pirate ship
the
looks
scale is great.
yeah, the scale's great. Yeah, I really like that. And you can tell that they're in a pool and
Oh yeah,
all that kind of.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really good.
it's a good
I was
green
really
screen shot.
yeah, it is.
honestly.
Honestly, yeah, that's a good green screen shot. I agree. Okay, so yeah, 78 with an 84 and an asterisk,
Yes.
and that's a good score. I like that. I was closer to the 84, but I was 15 when it came out, so I knew the cast more.
yeah.
So that was kind of the deciding factor for me. I didn't have a 4 for the cast. I had a higher cast.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
All right. So if I'm right, by release date, the next thing to do
Jurassic
is
Park.
Jurassic Park.
My favorite. I'm putting it out there now. My favorite film of all time. I had to pick it. The other ones are like some of my favorites.
Yeah.
This is my favorite film of all time.
And this is my favorite of the 5 that you gave me.
Okay. I can't wait to talk about it then. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. All right, let's go to the cast.
Oh. So this is
Right.
another one. This is another one where the asterisk might have to come into play. I
Okay.
actually saw this movie in the movie theater when I was 6. Now,
Right. You were born in 87.
yeah. So I was 6 years old. I also watched only about 40 minutes because I was so scared that most of the movie my face was buried in my mom's behind in her shoulder, in her back.
like under the armpit,
Yeah,
hiding
yeah, I
behind the
didn't-
popcorn.
Right. I didn't
Yeah.
watch most of it, and then I got so scared that I went to sleep. So I was at the theater when it came out. Now, I obviously watched this again many, many more times, and then when I grew up, I wasn't such a scaredy cat, and I watched it. So we're gonna have to probably throw the asterisk out there again.
Okay.
To me, the cast is a 10.
Yeah.
Sam Neill, Laura Dern,
Jeff Goldblum,
Richard Attenborough.
Richard.
You got
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson, who's
Samuel L. Jackson, who
I mean,
who
he's
says
nothing
he's
for
still
old.
alive.
right.
He says he's still
He
alive.
only lost an arm, apparently.
Yeah, he only lost an arm. See, he wants to be in a sequel. He says he survived.
Right. And then you got, of course,
I'm totally down for that.
Wayne Knight,
Yeah.
in a small role.
Oh, yeah.
And
I knew him from Seinfeld, and I was just like, oh, the
Yeah.
Seinfeld dude.
And then as a scientist, B.D. Wong, who I actually knew more as a kid from Father of the Bride 2. Him and Martin Short were like the baby people or whatever.
Mhm.
And then when I saw Jurassic Park later, I was like, hey, that's that guy from Father of the Bride 2. But yeah, I mean, just one of the best casts. Everybody's great.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a 10. But by the criteria of when I first saw it, it has to be a 4 because I was 6 years old and I didn't know any of these people.
So you didn't know these people. All right.
Yeah. So we'll do the
Okay,
same
4
here with the
4 with an
asterisk.
asterisk. All right.
Yeah.
That's totally cool. I think I forgot to put the Goonies poster up, so I'm gonna. Ta-da!
Look at that.
Look at that Goonies. It's like
Beautiful.
I was singing Cyndi Lauper was in my head all of a sudden. Okay, acting.
I mean, I have no problems with any of the acting. Even the
I-
kids in this are good. And I
yeah,
sometimes
I-
don't like kids.
I think the kids were brilliant. Richard Attenborough was great.
Sam Neill. Sam Neill's the man.
Sam Neill. I could have done without the lawyer, but
He's so necessary
He
though
was so
because of his
necessary because of his finale.
yes. His fate was sealed the
His face.
moment he walked on screen.
You knew you were
And
like, oh, that's the red shirt. That's the
I hate this guy. Right
yeah.
even from the moment where he's going in the beginning and he like slips and falls like he's such a goofball, it's like I already hate this guy.
Oh yeah,
So
this
you're
guy's got
right.
to go.
Yeah, in the sense of I could do without him,
Yeah,
sure, but you can't because you
but you
need that
but
moment.
you need that moment. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with that. You need
yeah.
the, you know,
And Jeff Goldblum, how cool is he in this movie? I mean, just
he's a total prick in the movie, but it
yeah.
works.
But the
It
leather jacket,
yeah, it
black, all
absolutely works.
black,
Yeah, I know, and you know,
and
chaos
Laura
theory
Dern,
and blah blah blah. And
Laura Dern, amazing. Richard
Lord,
Attenborough, as you mentioned,
yes,
amazing.
Sam
And
Neill,
and who
amazing.
plays a better angry black guy than Sam Jackson? Nobody.
Right,
Nobody. He's the best. So
right.
a 10 for me.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Hmm.
All right, plot. This is gonna be fun. Let's see what IMDb says. Oh,
I hope it's good.
great. And it's big words too. Thanks a lot, IMDb. Okay. A pragmatic paleontologist touring an almost complete theme park on an island in Central America is tasked with protecting a couple of kids after a power failure causes the park's cloned dinosaurs to run loose.
I like the alliteration at the beginning.
Yes.
Pragmatic paleontologist. I'm a
Pragmatic
fan of that.
paleontologist.
Yeah.
Pick to peck of pickle peppers is where I was going to finish that.
It'd be a cool band name.
The pragmatic paleontologist.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll play
But
bass on that.
I don't love that description because I feel like it's not the it is
It's
true, but it's
it's
not the most
true,
accurate.
but it's not the main. It's not the main.
That's
It's
just
not the
Dr. Grant story,
yeah.
pretty much.
That's
With the
just
kids.
Dr. Grant. That's just what Dr. Grant does. It's like, but yeah, I don't know.
It sounds fun.
It does. I would see it. I
Yeah.
would watch it. But yeah,
I'd
I'm
watch
probably
that movie, but they could have done better.
yeah.
So based on that, I'm only gonna give that description a 6.
Okay.
Yep. It's only a 6 to me. It does sound fun, but like that's not really what the movie's all about. So
Yeah. So you put that on par with that that brief alien description.
yeah, they really screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, they really did. That was really bad. That was kind of bad writing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just that's random. Whatever IMDb says is what we judge it on.
Sure.
I mean, unless I went and grabbed the box and I read the back of the box, but
Which is way longer, so it's not
which
fair.
is way longer. It would have taken a longer time, and
Yeah.
plus my eyesight's not very good. I'm an old man, so
Yeah.
I have to get my magnifying glass out and turn it on.
Pragmatic paleontologist was enough.
Yes,
It was
pragmatic paleontologist, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle peppers.
Mhm.
And okay, so the ending of the movie.
Oh, I mean, oh,
I
baby.
mean,
It's
right?
just fantastic,
Yeah.
incredible, thrilling. You know, from the scene where they are, you know, like trying to lock the doors and everything like that, and the
Hmm.
Raptors are trying to get in, to the chase scene through the air vents, to the skeleton,
Yeah.
that whole thing with the Raptors trying to eat them, and then the T-Rex goes from the villain of the movie to the hero
to the hero and saves them.
in one moment. The
Yeah.
iconic shot of him
That-
of her roaring
Hmm.
and the banner falling.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, the dinosaurs ruled the earth. I mean, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
And then Sam Neill coming out to the car and telling him he's not going to endorse the park, as if he didn't know.
As if that wasn't like a duh moment, right?
Yeah, he's like, I've decided not to endorse your park.
I'm gonna say no to that.
Yeah, and then they fly away, and you get beautiful piano music, and it's just a chef's kiss. It's a 10 for me.
Yeah.
I love the ending.
Yeah. No, I'm totally down for that. All right. Let's talk story. How do you think the story played out?
Incredibly,
Right?
yeah. What's
Uh,
where's the part where I'm supposed to be like, this is not
Yeah,
super interesting
I'm like, where's the hole in the story? I can't say I can't say I'm going to give it a perfect score. I didn't give it a perfect score, but solid, very solid story.
I
But no,
don't.
this is up to you. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, okay, you know,
right.
my-
And of course, my scores are not everyone's scores. You know,
No.
like I know people who don't even like love this movie that much, and that's fine.
Yeah.
To me, I know it's based off a novel. I didn't read the novel. I have no idea what's in there. I know they took out some stuff. Rev, stop. Me and him are fighting about this already. He's so yes, I didn't read the novel, so I'm not. I'm just going based off the movie, and I think they do a good job about explaining the science of the dinosaurs on a base level to like a. This is a popcorn movie, right? So to the
Right.
mass quantities, they do a great job of explaining how these clone dinosaurs worked
Right.
with
I
the
mean,
little
even
ride.
even with the PSA, the public service announcement, how they did it with
Yeah,
the yeah,
perfect.
I was like, okay, because I was like, how did they do the dinosaurs? And they're
They
like,
took a frog
we
and put
did
the
it. We
genes and then
yeah, we did
bam.
this, and we
Yeah,
took the we took the blood out of the mosquito that we found in the ember, and we
exactly.
yeah,
And it makes the opening scene with the amber mosquito make sense.
right with
Why
the
that's
cane.
important.
Yeah, to where
And
you're
look at
like, okay, what's the significance? Yeah.
yeah, and like all that. And then I personally, the older I get, when I was a kid, I didn't care for the scene. But as an adult, I love the scene where they're eating lunch and they're sitting at the table talking about the park.
Uh
No,
huh.
no, no.
No,
The
not that
scene,
one.
no, the lawyer's there, Richard
Oh,
Attenborough,
right, with
and
the
and
sea
and
bass. Yeah, okay.
yes, the Chilean sea
The
bass
Chilean sea
that they're
bass
eating.
spared no
Um,
expense.
yeah, and Ian Malcolm is just like, his whole speech is incredible in that
Yeah,
scene. Like you guys just, you could do it, but you didn't think if you should.
yeah,
And that whole I love that scene. I didn't
right.
like it when I was a kid.
This movie is the epitome of foreshadowing
Yes.
to me, to where you get the, life finds a way, and then, duh,
Right.
and then you never stop to think if you should do this,
Right. Yeah.
and then there's a reason why you shouldn't do this.
I
There's a
mean,
reason why dinosaurs had their shot,
right.
and they're done.
Yeah, I mean, just on the foreshadowing front, the scene where he can't clip the seatbelt in the helicopter because he has
Right.
two female parts,
He has
right?
two
Like,
feet.
but he figures out a way
Right? That's a
to
total
do it.
Easter egg. That was
Yeah. So,
brilliant.
I mean, it just to me, it's a 10. So I'm gonna give it a 10.
Good.
I have zero
Good.
problems with
No,
it, but
I have zero problems with you giving it a 10.
yeah,
Okay. Now, this is kind of a toss up to me. Now, for the genre, I left it as action and
yeah,
monster
yeah.
because it kind of takes place in modern times. There is a sci-fi element,
Okay.
but
I
it's
always counted it
minute.
sci-fi, but it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I actually have it categorized as sci-fi in my collection, but
right.
I was like, I don't think it's as sci-fi as Alien, so I didn't want to.
True, true.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to compare it to Alien
Yeah,
with
fair enough.
the, but although I think the special effects in this movie, and
Mhm.
we're getting that we're actually going to talk about that, but at least some of the things are the same
Yeah.
between sci-fi and action. The only difference is the violence versus the technology.
Yes.
So the violence of the film, because
Uh,
we're going to go action. So
yeah. So
I,
just
I, I
the violence. I
yeah,
mean, this is a PG-13 movie, and you get a guy getting eaten off a toilet and just swung around like very violently
right,
by a T-Rex. And this is why when I was a kid I couldn't watch this movie. The movie opens with a guy getting sucked into a crate by an unforeseen dinosaur,
right.
and they're all gripping him. I was scared right from then. I was like, "What did you bring me to? This is terrifying." It's a very violent PG-13 film.
It is. It's a very. I mean, I was like, as soon as the goat's leg hit the top of the car,
Yep.
I was like, oh crap.
Yeah. You get Samuel Jackson's severed arm,
Yeah.
meat and everything like showing on
Yeah.
the
Like
arm.
hanging. Yeah.
Yeah. You get the scene with the hunter guy and he's like the clever girl scene that everyone
Yeah.
loves, and that thing jumps on him, and the violence of it
And the
is like,
violence, even though you don't see him, they're
yeah,
like
they're
shaking, and
shaking.
you're thinking like, okay, that's what a dog would do.
Yeah, it's so
And
aggressive.
yeah,
They're aggressive.
it's very aggressive for a PG-13 movie. They
And the
really
loss of
set that
person.
bar. Yeah.
The truck is just shaking like crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I, I,
I mean, and the through the glass when they bash
right.
through the glass, and yeah,
They have restraints that they can't show too much gore,
yeah,
but gosh darn if they didn't go to the edge. And so I will still give it a 10
yeah.
because
Oh yeah,
you have to work within your parameters of your rating, and
yeah,
they took it to the line and then
yeah.
stopped right there.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, pace of the film.
I mean, 10. Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta,
I was
What's
yeah,
wrong with it?
I was loving
There's,
the pace.
there's always something going on interesting at all times,
Yes.
and that's important for pacing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, they start you out slow when they first take you on the tour because at first no dinosaurs are showing up, but again that was deliberate to where it was like we're not going to show you this yet. We're going to wait, almost like Alien, to where we're going to spring this on you, and then after that, all hell's going to break loose, and you're
yeah,
just going to have to you're
yeah,
just going to have to survive. That's it.
and then
You
it's a
know,
roller coaster at that
and
point.
objects in the mirror are larger than they appear and are closer than they appear. I was like, oh, I love that scene where you're looking at the side mirror
In the
and you
Jeep,
see that on the bottom of the Jeep.
yeah,
Loved
so
it.
good.
Um, okay, so yeah, 10. I'm not disappointed in that at all. What do you think of the special effects? I mean, this was
Groundbreaking. It's
yeah,
groundbreaking.
absolutely grab it. And I got a picture. I
Yeah,
want to show this because I was like, dude,
yeah.
that
They built that.
they made that. They built that was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, right down to where you could see the breath
Hmm.
hit the glass
Hmm.
from the dinosaur,
Yeah.
and just the attention to detail there
Yeah.
was amazing. I can't
Uh,
not give it. I couldn't not give it a 10. I couldn't. I
It's
was
not
just like
right. It's not
it,
right
it
to.
would it would be it's wrong. It would be wrong
Yeah.
not to give it a 10. It just
And I don't know if you've seen. Did you ever watch the series on Netflix, The Movies That Made Us?
I
Have
don't
you ever
think so.
seen
No,
it?
I haven't. No, I
Okay.
haven't seen it.
So there's a show, and I'm not, not to plug Netflix, whatever. They didn't pay me, but there's a show on there called The Movies That Made Us, and there's an episode on Jurassic Park. And one of the sections that they spend a lot of time on is the effects of the movie. And this was like CGI before CGI was like a strong thing. You had Terminator 2, with the T-1000, and then this was like the next kind of big moment for what you can do with computer generated effects.
Yeah,
And then to blend it so seamlessly with practical effects is where it just, I saw this, I've seen this now in the theater on re-releases multiple times. Anytime they re-release it in a theater within 25 miles of me, I go to see it. And I saw it in IMAX 3D. And if your stuff is not like doesn't hold up that well, it will be exposed there. And it looks amazing in
yeah,
IMAX 3D. The T-Rex scene, it looks real the whole time.
yeah,
Even when it's the CGI T-Rex, it looks real.
yeah,
So yeah, it's
yeah,
it's a 10 for me.
yeah. No, I just got the 4K when it first came out this week,
Yeah, it's
and I
great.
I can't wait to watch it. I haven't yet seen the transfer, but I
You're
can't
gonna
wait.
like it.
Yeah,
It's really good.
I
Yeah.
have no doubt I'm gonna enjoy that. Okay, so we're tens across the board for the action genre,
Yeah.
and yeah, I am not surprised by that. So and again,
Probably. Yeah.
the
Probably a 10. I don't know
the
what it is, but it's
monster
probably
the monster element the
10. Yeah.
monster element
Oh.
of the movie
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I can't. Yeah, I
They
again.
picked they picked three. So there's three main carnivore dinosaurs, right?
Right,
The T-Rex is iconic. This is essentially like the dinosaur, especially
right,
when you're a kid, right?
right,
And then the Velociraptor, a dinosaur. Now, it's not an accurate portrayal, apparently, of what a real Velociraptor is, but
right.
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
The fact is, they picked a dinosaur that kids didn't know what that was until Jurassic Park came out.
right.
No one went around talking about, I love raptors. It was T-Rex. It was Brontosaurus. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Triceratops.
Triceratops.
Yeah.
And you,
Um,
you get the Triceratops even though it's
yeah.
sick. You get it like there so you can see it,
Mhm.
and you get the Brontosaurus. You get the big
Yeah.
old giant Vegisaur. So the variety, and then you got
Dilophosaurus,
the
which no
one with
one
the
knows what that is.
yeah,
And how incredible! Like, and
and
I'm
and it gets its kill.
yes, it has one
So
of the best scenes in the movie. The
yes,
Dilophosaurus does.
yeah,
So, fingers crossed that I've been waiting for it to come back, and I know in the new Jurassic World trailer it's in there, and I lost my mind when I saw it.
hmm
But those three are all terrifying. They're all extremely well designed. They all look super real. The monsters get a 10 from me.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, that was
And
a
they're
10 for
real.
me
They
too.
were like real life. They're
They
based in
were
real life.
yeah, yeah.
Allegedly. I don't know if
Totally.
dinosaurs were here, but
All right.
probably.
So let's talk about the kills, the bodies. that are accumulated in here. First one, not a huge body count, but their placement is what I liked.
Yeah.
It was placed in the right spot, like the lawyer, to where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I know this is gonna kill me.
Right. Yeah.
I know this is bad. As
Yeah.
soon as the like when you said the one dude gets sucked into the cage, I knew,
Yeah.
oh crap, something's major in there.
We are not safe
You're
in
not
this movie.
seeing anything yet,
Yeah.
and you're like, you're not safe.
Mhm.
And then, you know, the goat leg, and you're like, okay, T Rex is about to show up. And
Yeah.
then all hell breaks loose with the T Rex, and you're like,
Right.
okay, hurts Malcolm, kills the lawyer on the toilet.
Yep.
Horrible way to go.
Yeah.
Um, and then you get the Velociraptors,
Yep.
and then you get the intelligence
Yep.
with the brutality, and you're
Mhm.
like, man, it was layer upon layer upon layer. So yeah, I was impressed. I did not give it a 10 personally, but
Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah. I think this will be one of my only non-10s for this one too.
Yeah,
But also very high.
yeah,
The lawyer scene's great, perfect kill. The clever girl scene always stands out again.
yeah,
Perfect kill. I wish you saw what happened to Arnold instead of just seeing his arm, but that's
yeah.
okay. That might deduct a little bit
That
because
deducts a little. That deducted a little bit for me,
yeah,
but I liked the fear element
yeah.
of Laura Dern actually going, ah,
Oh, Mr. Arnold.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
and then it's his
oh,
arm.
blah, it's just
And
your,
then you get
it's
a
just
jump
your left
scare.
arm.
That's
Yeah,
a jump scare.
that's a
better
jump scare.
than Halloween when the raptor's face comes out of the thing.
Yeah, when you're like,
Like, what the heck?
oh,
Um,
oh.
right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
What happened? Where'd my sheets go?
yeah.
Um,
So that marked it down, and also the Dilophosaurus kill as they don't show it. You just see
yeah.
the car
You
shaking.
just the car shaking him with that scream.
Yeah. If this was
Yeah.
rated R, it would have been a 10. But
Yes.
as such, I'm gonna go with a nice, strong, solid 8.
Yep. That's where I
That's
was
good
too.
because 2
Good.
are pretty much on screen, and then the rest are kind of off. So, but the 2 that are on are very good. The toilet scene alone is worth like 6 points.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, he gets flung around, like just side to side, just wrecked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Good scores. Okay, so you score that one an 88
An 88?
with an asterisk of a 94.
That sounds more accurate. But
Yeah.
yes, with the asterisk, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense though. I was again saw it when I
So
was
notice,
6
and I was at the same spot. So you're 1 point below Alien. Alien was higher score.
Mm.
I did the same thing. I was 1 point lower with Jurassic Park than I was with Alien.
Wow. Yeah. And I love this movie infinitely more than
Right?
Alien.
Me too.
But makes sense. Yeah.
Right? So it's funny. All right, let's go with the last
IMDb
one.
plot too. That IMDb plot really just
Yeah, it really kind of soured the milk. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, so
So that
let's
should be Dumb and Dumber, right?
let's go. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber's our
comedy.
last one.
I wanted to get all the genres in here.
Yep, and you certainly did. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. This is the only movie I did not like out of your group.
Okay.
I was not a fan, but I still gave it a good score
Okay.
because of what it has. So I'm interested how you come out with this.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's just comedy is a specific animal, and
Yeah.
it's really it's really a particular taste to where I didn't care for that. There's one scene that I absolutely died in this movie that I loved.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a second because I actually have a picture of it. But this type of comedy is not necessarily my cup of tea.
Sure.
But then there's movies that are almost like this to where I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that movie. Like
Right.
I didn't like Dumb and Dumber, but I love Dodgeball.
Yeah.
And I'd almost
love
call
that
them
movie
the same type of comedy.
Yeah. They're kind of goofy.
They're kind of
A lot of
goofy.
physical comedy.
There's at least one really dumb person in the
Yeah.
movie,
Very
but
over-
it's really, and it's what I call a physical comedy. So it's
Oh, yeah.
so comedy is the genre, and then physical is the type. So physical comedy, or what in the 70s and 80s, back when I was a young pup, they called it slapstick.
Yes.
So we'll talk about those features, but let's start with the basics. Let's go cast.
So Dumb and Dumber
And this was,
It,
oh, let me put the poster up while we're doing that.
so this didn't come out before I was born, so we can't do anything with that. But I
Right.
knew
But
Jim
you were
Carrey.
7. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
were 7 when it came out.
I was 7, but I already knew Jim Carrey because this came
In
out.
Living Color.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
used to watch In Living Color. Me and my sister on Fox. Anyone who was on that show, I knew in anything I saw. So
Yeah.
like Damon Wayans and Major Payne and all these, like I just In Living Color. All these guys are In Living Color to me.
Yeah.
So and also I actually knew Jim Carrey from a movie that me and my sister watched when we were little called Earth Girls Are Easy with Gina Davis
Oh, yeah.
and Jeff Goldblum, and I had seen that and I was like, hey, that's. And then this came out the same year as Ace Ventura, and there was another one, The Mask. I think they all came out the same year. He had like the greatest year of all
That
time.
was a big year for him. Yeah, I think I think that's right.
94. Yeah, those were all 3 in 94. And Jim Carrey was just like the comedy guy.
Oh yeah, he could do no wrong. Yeah, 94
Yeah.
The Mask. I just double checked that. So yeah,
Yeah.
confirmed.
So The Mask, Ace Ventura, and Dumb and Dumber all in one year.
Right.
So I knew
And
him.
I loved The Mask.
Yeah. Which is also
And
very zany.
very zany. I wasn't a fan of Ace Ventura. I really didn't like the second one, but
Sure.
I liked the first one better.
Okay.
And and then Dumb and Dumber. So yeah, I'm kind of with Jim Carrey, it boils down to Liar Liar and Yes Man are my 2 favorite movies.
I love him. He's my favorite comedy actor.
I think he's a brilliant physical comedy actor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love
bar none.
both of those movies that you just
Yeah,
said.
I'm really sorry he did Sonic 2, and apparently that's his last movie. At least so he says. I hope he does more.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, for me, I was like, I knew because I was 24 when it came out.
Okay.
So I was, I wouldn't say I was in my prime, but I was close. So it was before my wrestling days. And so I knew Jim Carrey, I knew Jeff Daniels, I knew Lauren Holly.
Yep.
So I was right off the bat. I knew I was like the guy, and Mike Starr is his name.
Oh yes, the guy who dies when they give him the poison.
Yeah,
poison him. Yeah,
yeah. Because I was like, oh yeah, he was in Bodyguard, and so I remembered him, and I knew Terry
Charlie Duffy in this too.
Yeah, Karen Duffy is in this.
Karen Duffy, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Terry Garr's in this.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, Terry Garr, I remember her from Mr. Mom and all that. So yeah, I was actually pretty good with the cast on this. Where would you put it? Would you go with the starting 4, and then add 2 for Jim Carrey, or did you know any?
We have to do that because I didn't know Jeff Daniels at the time. I know him now, clearly. I know Lauren Holly. But even still, I'm not super familiar with. I know. What's his name? Harlan Williams. I think he plays the cop. He's the guy who pulls him over and he drinks the pee.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew him from like other like the '90s kind of dumb comedies, the one where he goes to space or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like an astronaut. So I knew him later, but not at the time. I just knew Jim Carrey. So yeah, we'll do 4 to 6, I guess. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone else. I still don't think the cast is the strongest part of this movie anyway. So
no,
6 is probably reasonable.
Yeah. Okay. So the acting.
I mean, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. I love Jim Carrey in this. I love Jeff Daniels in this. I love their chemistry together.
Yeah.
As these 2 friends who are totally stupid.
Yeah. And that's definitely, we're going to pull that out and score the chemistry separate too. So
okay.
So yeah, definitely.
Even with that said, spoiler alert. But
spoiler alert, chemistry's great.
Yeah. Now outside of them, this is it's like fine. Mike Starr's funny as like a pissed off.
I liked Mike Starr in the movie. He's funny. He was really funny.
A couple of scenes.
Yeah.
I love the 2 leads though, and everyone else is just kind of there. Like Lauren Holly's just.
I love Lauren Holly, but she kind of phoned it in.
Yeah, she didn't
to
do
me.
Anything.
She didn't do anything. She's not. Her timing is not very good as a comedian. So she wasn't very funny to me, but she wasn't supposed to be. I think that kind of helped as far as my view of the movie goes.
Yeah.
Is that okay? She's not supposed to be funny, and that kind of made it funny.
Yeah. She fit a role, but it wasn't like a great role.
It wasn't like yeah.
And Karen Duffy, she's just like a sidekick.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just kind of there. This is a show of this is a 2-man show in my opinion. Two and a
Yeah,
half is Mike
Two
Star.
and a Half Men. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
men,
I will give the
men.
acting. I will give the acting on a comedic level.
Yeah,
Because this is a comedy.
it's comedy.
I will give it. I will give it an 8.
Sure.
I will give it an 8. And the deductions come from everyone who's not those 3 guys. Pretty
Right.
much, like they're just there.
The rest of them are
They're
just
so
kind of.
strong.
They're more like scene.
They're window
scenes.
dressing.
They're window dressing. That's the one I was trying to get. All right, let's go to IMDb and look at the plot.
Oh Lord, yeah. Good
Oh,
luck with this. I don't know.
I'm gonna Dominus. Okay. After a woman leaves a briefcase at the airport terminal, a dumb limo driver and his dumber friend set out on a hilarious cross-country road trip to Aspen to return it.
That's actually
That's not bad.
Accurate.
That's not bad.
Yeah. 8. I'll give that one an 8.
Sweet.
That is the movie. That is the plot of the movie in a nutshell.
No, yeah, that's pretty good.
And then
I
just
like
dumb stuff
his
happens.
dumb and his dumber friend.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, okay, now I get the idea for the title of the movie. Okay,
Yeah.
the ending of the film.
So the ending is it's good.
Yeah,
It's not like, crazy.
yeah,
Nothing crazy.
yeah.
I
was gonna say I love the ending because it was finally over for me, but
oh,
I didn't.
Fair
But
enough.
I actually, I actually got closure
Yeah.
in the movie. It finished.
Yeah.
And
told
and
the
there
story.
are some comedies that don't do that.
Right.
And that's part of what I absolutely don't like. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
That's like one of my least favorite films. But and then with Dodgeball actually had an ending, had closure. They win the tournament, they get thing. Chuck Norris gives them a thumbs up. Great. So, all right. So, what would you score the ending of this film?
Like,
I mean,
the ending's good. Like,
Yeah.
the ending just wraps up the movie.
Yeah.
But where I'll give it one bonus point is the last kind of zinger joke with the Hawaiian tropic bus.
Yes, and I think that I was that was my bonus as well. I was like, okay, that was funny.
Right. Like, the movie's over, and
And
then
then-
going home.
And you're just like, stupid. Yeah.
There's a town full of guys that way, and they're like, "What?" And then he's, "You idiot!" And you think he's gonna correct him,
Yeah.
and instead he tells him, "It's that way."
It's that way.
I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'll give it one extra point for that. But overall, I would just give the ending like a 7. It's nothing,
Yeah.
It's a 6 with the plus 1 bonus.
6 with the +1.
I do
all
like
right.
though the other scene in the ending where he imagines that he's shooting the guy, the husband,
Mhm.
and then it's like all in his mind.
Yeah.
That scene always cracks me up too, but it's just fine.
Okay. All right. What do you think of the story?
Okay, so I think the story is it's there. Like,
Yeah.
This is one of those comedies. So there's lots of different types of comedies. I'm glad you prefaced the comedy thing because to me, comedy is the most subjective genre that
Absolutely.
there is, period.
Yeah.
What you think is funny may not be what I think is funny, may not be what my friend thinks is funny. You 3 can all watch a movie and one can love it and one can hate it and one can think it was okay,
Yeah.
especially with comedy.
Yes.
So this is not a story. The funny part of this movie is not the plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The storyline. And it's everything but the plot almost. Like this is like this plot, it could be like you could put this plot in any, like in an action movie,
Yeah.
in a, like in a thriller, a bag left, some
We gotta-
criminals.
We got to return this briefcase, and
Right, they're holding someone hostage.
it's
for
got a
money.
bomb in it, and
Yeah, this is
or
this
it's
is an
got
action movie plot.
$100,000, and we got to keep it safe. And
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's an action movie plot that accidentally fell in this stupid comedy, right?
yeah,
With that said, it works. Like it functions.
it functions. It
Yeah.
it did the job. It's kind of like going to Denny's. You ate.
Right. It has an A, a B, and a C. Like I ordered,
Yeah.
I got my food and I ate it.
And
But
I left.
did it have
know.
a ton of nutritional value?
Did it? Yeah,
No.
yeah. No.
So I'm gonna give it a 5. I don't think
Okay.
the storyline is it's not overly impressive. It's from a different genre, first of all.
Yeah.
So the storyline's not it's not what I love about this movie.
No. No, and that makes sense, and that's why we give better scores to the parts that you did love about the movie.
Right.
Mainly, now we're going to the comedy, and of course, with any comedy movie, it has to be funny.
Yes.
And this is where I'm talking full on belly laugh,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like a surprise. Like all of a sudden you just drank a glass of giggle water and you're just like, bah, you know, like that. Or how good was it? I mean, and I know
Comedy.
you loved it. Were you
Yes.
like
Yeah. 10.
you're
10. I
like a full on
laughed.
10?
Yeah.
And
I I
I'm
love
just
this.
I'm
Like.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
That's my favorite scene.
Yeah. I mean, that scene's hilarious. And she's like, I hope you're not using the toilet. It doesn't
It's
flush.
out. It's
And
not working. It's out.
yeah. His panic
And
is
he's just like,
it's
and
second to none.
yeah.
Um yeah, Turbolax. I love Turbolax scene. So I actually think like to me, I think this movie is it's very stupid, but it's almost like it's so stupid that it's smart. It crosses over to me, in my opinion. To
Okay.
write it, to be able to write some people that are so dumb, it takes some talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really does.
It's
So
like George the Animal Steel. It takes real talent.
to
Because
pull off what
that
he
guy had
did,
160 IQ and he played just a complete idiot.
yeah, with tongue out and his
Tongue
like
out and then
whatever.
the green tongue and the hair all over him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So it takes a lot. It's smarter than it acts like, in my opinion, as far as the writing.
Okay.
One, two, Jim Carrey. I mean, everything he does in this movie makes me laugh. It's small, even the small stuff when he's in the hotel at the end and he's reading the thing and he's like, annual, and he can't read the word the. Like the word the is the one that trips him up, and it only has three. He's like, the.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Even little things like that. I mean, I laugh so hard every single
Yeah.
time I watch this movie, and I've seen it. I can't even tell you how many times. So for me,
Nice.
it's a 10. But I
Okay.
could totally get someone else giving this a 1, and I wouldn't be surprised. So we'll leave that at that.
Yeah. Leave it at that. No, I mean for like I said, for that scene,
Yeah.
I roared
Yeah.
in that scene. The Hawaiian Tropic thing at the end, I laughed. I belly laughed on that one. I gave it a good score for how funny it is. But yeah, where it falters for me is in the whole story and how it plays out and stuff. I just
Yeah.
not a fan.
Doesn't work for you. Yeah.
But didn't work for me. But I can still give credit where credit is due. And Jim Carrey is brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant, and he worked well with Jeff Daniels. And that brings me to chemistry. And this is the chemistry between the actors, not just the leads, but everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But in particular, the two leads, the chemistry between Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels was phenomenal. It was, I mean, bar none, probably my favorite thing of the film.
Yeah. It's really great. I think they work really well together,
Yeah.
especially because Jeff Daniels is not like a traditional comedy actor.
Right.
You know
And
what I
Mike
mean?
Starr too. I got to put him in there too. His chemistry with them two
Perfect.
was really good.
Perfect. When
Yeah.
as soon as he gets in the car with them till he dies,
Yeah.
everything they do together is spot. He's the perfect balance, like of like serious kind of non-comedy guy to
Right.
balance off them. But again, Jeff Daniels coming, being more of like a regular, I guess, traditional actor, dramatic actor.
Yeah.
I
I
think
was
that acting
yeah.
skill helps when it
Yeah.
comes to playing off Carrie, who's wild in this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he is just
He
full
yeah,
on.
you gotta rein him in. Where
Yeah,
it's like, whoa, okay, stop. And then Jeff Daniels is kind of like, oh, I can kind of do that. But yeah,
yeah.
I,
I
I
can go there
really
with you
like
too.
yeah, I can go toe to toe with that. We
Yeah,
can do that. But yeah, I
yeah.
thought
So
his comedic timing, Jeff Daniels, I mean, his comedic timing was better than I thought it would be
agreed.
because he seems more of a serious actor
Yeah.
than I would expect from
And he never
Speed.
really did another movie like this.
No,
You know what I mean? I mean, Dumb
no,
and Dumber 2, which is
yeah,
horrible, but
dumber
besides
and
that, he's not a comedy guy.
dumber, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, what would you give the chemistry?
I'm gonna give them an 8. I'm gonna
Okay.
give them an 8. It's not like this. We're not talking like the most flawless, but it's very strong.
Very strong. Okay. And then the other thing I like, and this kind of goes to the root of the movie is the script.
Mm,
And this is kind of where you kind of mix the acting and the story a little bit, and how the script is written
yeah.
is what we're looking at.
So
What did you think of the script?
okay, so script, as far as to me, and this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of smarts to write something like this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay.
And mostly because every bit of dialogue is just like it's exactly what needed to be said. Everything from the briefcase, him thinking her name was Samsonite because that's what it says on the briefcase. I love the part where he says you're gonna invite us over for tea and strumpets. Like he just talks wrong. Like these words are
Yeah.
not even. That's not what that is.
Yeah.
Um, the bird scene with they give the bird to the blind kid. I love
Mhm.
it. I think it's hilarious. I quote this movie quite a bit as well. I think it's quotable, which
Yeah.
great comedies should be.
Absolutely.
The story part of the script is basic, but I
Yeah.
think all the dialogue is very witty, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay. That's cool. Good score.
Yeah.
And now we're talking for physical comedy. There's a couple aspects that I like. First, we got to judge the total physical comedy of the movie.
Yes.
The stuff that they do physically, and I'm going to go back to this one because
Yeah.
because I am one of my favorite aspects, and this is my 5-year-old brain talking. I love the poo scene.
Yeah.
That's like you give me Van Wilder, you give me Hall Pass, you give me this one, you give me the other woman
Yeah.
with Stephen Moyer and his poo scene.
Yeah.
You give me stuff like that, and I am good all day long.
Yeah.
I will watch that scene before I watch anything else in that movie
Yeah.
because that scene made the movie for me. So as far as the physical comedy and and the scooter scene where they're cold and they get warm, I'm just going to leave it there,
Did he get stuck to him?
and they get stuck to them.
Yeah.
That that type of physical comedy. I
Yeah.
mean, there was physical comedy in here that I have not seen anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I've seen poo scenes, but the thing with the scooter and then the thing with the car that's a dog, and
Yeah.
I was just like,
I think this poop scene is like on the Mount Rushmore. It's like
exactly. This
the
is my
greatest
Mount
one.
Rushmore of poo scenes.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
so extreme. The noises, his face,
Yeah.
when he starts shaking like that,
Yeah.
and he puts his legs up. I mean,
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, this has a ton of physical comedy. Yeah, that scene, when him and Mary Swanson go on the date
Mhm.
and they're on the slopes and she throws a little snowball at him and he like chucks one so hard at
Just
her.
yeah. Yeah.
And then he like full on tackles
He like just
her.
full on
just beating
full
her
on
up.
spears her.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. The Jim Carrey when he falls asleep at the wheel and he has like
Yeah.
that karate fight with the
Yeah.
guys in the restaurant when he's on the date and he's doing the
Yeah.
and he rips the guy's heart out. I mean, that's all physical comedy.
It's all physical comedy.
Jim Carrey's face alone is physical comedy. It's made
Absolutely.
of rubber. He does
Yeah.
whatever he wants.
Exactly.
To me,
He's
that is the movie. It's a slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, and I give
Yeah.
it a 10. It's
Yeah.
I have no problems with it.
nice. Yeah, me too. I gave that a 10.
Yeah.
Because the physical comedy is just it's stellar in that movie. And then the other thing, and I don't know how hard this is going to be for you to judge, but I look to the ad libs to where you're like, okay, that could not have been in the script. Or, when you get some Easter eggs or you watch some special features later where you're like, okay, he ad libbed this scene or this was totally off the cuff and we kept it in the movie. I like that kind of stuff with a physical comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about the ad libs? And it's Jim Carrey. There's a lot of ad lib in that movie.
Right. and all of them, whatever was, it's so seamless to whatever wasn't, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
The ad libbing stuff is especially prevalent with
One more time.
The ad libbing stuff is especially prevalent with like stand-up comedians, I feel like, in their movies.
Mhm.
And also especially in the 2000s when Apatow started, becoming more popular.
Right.
They used to have I remember their special features, they would have like Linorama where they would just like do like
We're just like
30
them
takes.
riffing. They're just like
Yeah.
throwing stuff out to see what sticks.
And
Yeah.
I always loved it. Half
too.
the jokes aren't funny, but the other half are.
Right.
So this, like Jim Carrey, he did come from stand up, a little bit weird,
Mhm.
his style of stand up, but whatever's there works. I think it works.
Mhm.
I don't think this is the like beacon of
No, it's not the pinnacle of ad libbing, but
yeah, of like the ad libbing or any sort of improv.
yeah.
Um, but what's there is good, and it makes me laugh. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not like top notch.
Make sure I got that right.
Yeah, this is one the lowest. I'm very upset because I love this movie.
It's not the lowest.
No,
It's not the lowest. Halloween's your lowest.
this was higher than Halloween.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not upset anymore.
Yep. 78.
Oh, so just ahead.
Just ahead. Actually matches Goonies without the asterisks.
Okay, so it's in my wheelhouse. It seems
It's
like
in
these
your
are
wheel. It's right in there. It's right in your wheelhouse.
I'm not upset.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with your asterisks
Okay.
for your
That's
scores.
Yeah.
Because I think that otherwise you'd have a tie. I'm not worried about the tie. Okay. So coming in at number 5 of your high five
Yep.
is Halloween with a 76. At number 4 is Dumb and Dumber with a 78.
Okay.
Number 3 is Goonies with an 84 with the asterisks.
Yep.
Number 2, Jurassic Park with a 94 asterisk.
Yep.
And your top movie and mine, 95 for Alien.
Incredible. 95. I mean, borderline flawless.
Yep.
Borderline.
Yep.
I'm
And
not
then-
mad at that. I'm
No.
really not mad at it at all.
I'm not mad at that either. Let me
Yeah.
let me tell you where I was.
Okay.
Okay. So Dumb and Dumber was my lowest, and I gave it a 76.
Okay.
Number 4 was Halloween with an 84. Number 3 was Goonies with an 87. Number 2 was Jurassic Park with an 88. And Alien was number 1 with an 89.
So we had almost the same order except 4 and 5.
Except for 4 and 5.
Incredible. I mean, you know.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah, it is what it is. It worked
It
out.
is what it is.
Numbers
It worked
check that
out.
way. Yeah.
See, the numbers all kind of balance out when you're looking at 10 different things and you're totaling it up. It seems to, it kind of balances out, and it makes for, so you don't give a movie like a horrible score. Like if you're just like looking at the cast for Jurassic Park and you didn't know them, you're like, oh, I'm going to give it a 4. But you're like, but dude, the monsters were great and all this was great and all these other elements. So you total it together and then it averages out to where you're like, okay, that turned out to be a pretty good movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense.
All right. So what'd you think?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's very interesting. If the funny thing is like if we just went favorites, that would be all scrambled up. Jurassic Park's by far my number 1.
Mine
Dumb and
too.
Dumber is my number 2 out of those.
Right.
My
Goonies would be my number 2.
Yep. My number 3 would be Alien.
My 3 would be Halloween.
Yeah. My number 4 would be Halloween.
My 4 would be Alien, and 5 would be Dumb and Dumber. So
yeah, so it would be totally different.
It'll be totally different. But yeah, it's favorite versus best, and this is where it's kind of interesting. So our bests are actually similar.
Yeah.
But our favorites are totally different.
Totally different.
Totally different. Except for number 1. We're still on board with number 1 being Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Totally awesome. All right. That's the show.
Yeah, I had a great time. I mean, first of all,
I'm glad.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
I look forward to you coming on our show.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Showing off collection, showing what you got, showing your movies.
Yeah. If you can see around our chat here, this is my living room.
Yes.
So you get a shot in the background. That's my living room.
Yes.
And so yeah, I've got quite a few movies. So for me to pick 6 slipcovers was really interesting. But yeah, and I'm gonna embellish a little bit, but I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I can't wait to do it.
Sticks you love, basically. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it covers the case, and I love it. That's what what it's going.
So
Um,
yeah, I mean, I had a great time.
I'm glad.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to you coming over on our show.
Yeah, me too. Before we go, let's go ahead and plug your shows and your channels and your
Yeah,
tubes and all that.
again, Instagram, Nateflixreviews. You can follow me over there. If you don't already, of course, and if you do, thank you. Geeks and Flicks is our YouTube channel.
Got it right
Monday
this time.
night, got it right this time.
Got the
Not
right
the old
name.
one. Don't look
Not the
that
other
one
one.
up.
Nope.
Geeks and Flicks, YouTube, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We have a new show every week. Me and Alex, we go live. You can follow Geeks and Flicks on Instagram as well, and geeksandflicks.com, where we have all our Action Movie Guys podcasts. I'm a busy man. I do a lot of got a lot of stuff going on, but I love it. I wouldn't trade it. I get to watch a lot of movies and talk about them. So
Yep.
that's what we do.
Yep. All right. That's awesome. I'm glad you were on the show. It was a pleasure. It was a real pleasure talking movies with you and getting to know you a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to the 23rd. For those of you that aren't on my channel, check me out. It's the 4K Lowdown on YouTube. On Facebook and Twitter, it's the Lowdown 1. On Instagram, it's the.lowdown 2. And on Letterboxd, it's 4K Lowdown. But that's it for me. Coming up next week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific or 9 p.m. Eastern, it's the regular episode of the 4K Lowdown where we will continue our talk about animated movies and scoring those. But that's it. I'm gonna throw our intro on, Nate, and then we're gonna be out.
All
So
right. Sounds great.
take care, everybody. Have a great week, and watch a movie.
Be safe. Watch a movie.